Welcome, everybody. We are back with the Top Shelf, episode 19. We are playing Patchwork World, and it, Tony, did you wanna yell? Did you wanna yell a little bit?
Yeah, hey everybody, go to ttrpg.link/dwg live to check
God
out.
damn it! I didn't want to cross plug. I wanted to yell. I thought this was gonna be an emotional moment.
Ah!
No, so
There was a lot of emotion that went into that.
fair enough. No, so we are playing Patchwork World today with the same cast of Down We Go last stream. It's going to be a hell of a time. We're doing same characters as last stream, at least those who survived. Even that sentence is questionable because of Pale Greta's involvement here. But it is a spectacular game, this time written by Aaron motherfucking King over there. And yeah, let's just get into it. I woke up at 3 today. I'm actually drinking water instead of some kind of fun alcoholic beverage on stream today because I have been replacing subflooring for the last 2 days in our master bathroom. So I am terribly sore, and
sounds like a reason to have some more alcohol, sir.
Nah, see, I need my body to recover because I'm only like a third of the way through the project, and I need to keep going because otherwise I don't have a bathroom in the upstairs right now. So
okay, fair enough.
We're gonna finish this, but anyway, let's go ahead and do player introductions for us real quick. We'll start up there with Herman and just run clockwise around the circle with Pale Greta, Borba, and then Dr. the Rat Prince.
This is player introduction or character introduction?
you two. Just your intro stuff. Your
My name is
character.
Tony Vicinda. I'm a chief alchemist over at Plus One EXP. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire, much like the folks over here at TPK, is to help amazing designers find great players who love their game, and help great players find amazing designers whose games they can love. I am all over the place on the screen right now. It's very disconcerting. Oh my gosh, I'm back. I'm right now
on the panel.
You find me at Plus One EXP across pretty much anything, or at Tony Vicinda across the same things, but I respond to brand stuff better than individual stuff typically because I don't know how to separate my work from my identity. You can also go back our project on GameFound right now. Down we go at ttrpg.link/dwg, like Down we go live. I'm playing Herman, the boy from over there.
I'm Aaron King. I wrote this game, Patchwork World. It's in print. It's going out to Kickstarter backers now, and then
it's
will be
bigger
available.
than I anticipated. I'm very excited for the size of that
full
book.
8.5 by 11.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Someone is moving in upstairs, so please excuse that. I'm a game writer in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I wrote this. I'm writing for Down We Go. And I will be playing a character named Pale Greta, who we will get into in a sec. Are we saying what we drink? I'm drinking ranch water, spicy.
We went from lead to ranch water, and I don't know which is worse.
Yeah, it feels like a downgrade.
It does. It feels like I would rather drink lead based on titles alone. But
Ranch water, I'm here for your sponsorship. Get at me. I'll slap your logo on the back, on the front. I'll write Ranch Water the RPG.
I know about ranch water, and it didn't bother me at all anytime that term gets used until you add the word spicy to it. And then
yeah, it's a special
I'm
kind.
in a whole new world.
Like me, it is spicy.
I have to ask real fast, is it ranch flavored or is it like
it's just bad branding?
A Lone River
brand
cuts through
is
the
just
high
ranch
desert
water, right?
of far west Texas.
Okay.
Out on the Lone River
so
flows
ranch is just
water.
branding, not flavoring?
Yeah.
I'm following. Okay, cool. That makes it better.
It's bad branding, but that's what I love about it.
It is
Sometimes
really
bad branding is what brings people together, and that's why my intros are always so terrible.
It's
getting
bad
into the show.
branding unless they back Patchwork World, in which case it's great branding.
There we
Yeah.
go.
This is about how this show's gonna go, isn't it, guys?
Pretty much. Yep.
Let's get through the intros.
I'm writing a custom move for my character right now called ranch water.
Borba.
And if they advance it, they can make it spicy.
Yeah.
Spectacular. Borba, you are up.
Oh man, hey guys, I'm that Magic Juice. My character name is Borba. It's generically an elf because I am at least still at this point the trying to branch out of D&D, but still having a very hard time with it kind of guy. But damn it, if I'm not trying, right? And as far as what I'm drinking, last time I actually had, I'm not going to show the label because I can't hashtag add it. So just to be safe, last time I had something from what is exclusively distribution and otherwise Wisconsin from New Glarus, and I'm sticking with that. But 'tis the season for Oktoberfest, so Staghorn it is.
Very nice. And then, Keegan, you are absolutely required to have an intro as glorious as Tony's. I gave you the time to be last so that you could think of it on the way in, so...
No stress. No stress.
Yeah,
Okay,
no stress.
cool. Cool. I'm Keegan. You can't find me anywhere. I'm not here. I'm going to be playing as Dr. the Rat Prince today.
I'd like to insight check that. Oh, wait, the wrong fucking game.
You need to look in eyes, not your own.
There you go.
I'd like to use Become Cats. I need to leave.
I'm going to swat him off the table and peace out.
Keegan,
And with that,
what
we
are
are off to a roaring start.
We are. Keegan, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking La Colombe brand nitro cold brew infused with Sicilian lemons.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's not like some weird Red Bull coffee thing that you're mixing together. That's actually
No,
coffee
it is
lemonade.
actually branded coffee lemonade.
Oh, that feels like a coffee Coke kind of thing, which I might actually have to try now because
Coffee lemonade's really good.
I was
I could
aggressively
talk
against
about-
coffee and Coke for a while, and then I had it, and then I was like,
Coffee
"Alright."
Coke was really good. It's too bad they're out of business.
Red wine and Coke is also very good.
I refer to red wine and Coke as a dark spritzer, as if it's a spritzer that's just gone over to the dark side.
to the bad places. And rounding us all out, my name is Mads. I am your host for the evening and foreseeably the rest of the top shelf until I am subsequently canceled by Cole for having terrible introductions. But you can find me on Twitter and stuff at JKMadigan. I also write my own games and things. It's a good time. But we are not here for that today. We are here for Patchwork World, and these 4 characters that were brought together in the strangest of circumstances by delving into the sewers of the Infernopolis during Down We Go to reclaim a gargantuan amount of poison for God knows what reason for Dr. the Rat Prince up on the surface.
Apparently he just wanted it.
He just, yeah, I mean, sometimes
I wanted it to poison the rat or the Frog King.
Which we didn't know he was immune to subsequently, so, you know,
Yeah.
not the best plan. But hey, y'all made it out. Pale Greta was crushed under Gray Greta was crushed under the chest of goodies that y'all earned at the end of last session. And Herman and Borba made it out pretty unscathed. Herman seems to just bounce around all over the place and do well for himself considering the weird situations that he's got himself into. So you and your raccoon, is it? Raccoon?
Rusty, yeah.
Yeah, you and your raccoon have been doing great. Borba's a little confused. Dr. the Rat Prince has his poison, and as you all retire into your own individual spaces within the Infernopolis to go to bed and rest off the night, doing whatever it is that you do prior to that, but I don't ask questions, you all awake the next morning as we begin this next episode in the mud of the entrance to this sewer, all 4 of you. And interestingly, it looks like things feel weird, like everything is kind of uncanny valley as you wake up and arrive to, you know, what you had been doing the day prior, or Dr. the Rat Prince has paid people to do the day prior, but are now with the rest of the party. And the kind of overall air of confusion is broken by a letter sealed and stamped with a dirty brown wax, sat on the chest of Dr. the Rat Prince laying in the mud as all 4 of you wake up in the second episode, which also feels like it was animated by like a different development team. Like it switched producers and now everything just looks a little off.
Since I don't live in Infinitopolis and I slept in the pleasure domes last night, can I roll a d6 to see if a butterfly came and whispered to me a secret about a great treasure?
Absolutely.
This is the last down we go mechanic. I overrolled a 3. Never mind, it didn't happen.
Okay, fair enough.
I have to ask a question real fast, Mads. And
Yes.
This is important. Does Dr. the Rat Prince know that the Rat King is dead?
No.
Sure,
Dr. the Rat Prince. Or did you tell him?
I don't remember.
I don't
We did
think
not
so.
tell him at the end of last session that you all killed his parents.
Well,
It was just the one parent, really.
in Herman's defense, I don't think he understands that.
Okay, cool.
Fair.
Well, I don't know them, so.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Is this one of y'all's fucking letter?
Addressed in really scraggly, like half-broken, muddy crayon, like Dr. the Rat Prince on the back of it.
Can we get a Rat Prince intro? You're rat sized or human sized?
I'm like a very large rat, like possum sized.
A rodent of an unusual size.
And I feel like it's probably worth mentioning that I'm possum sized, but I do have a possum with me. His name is Sir Hooligan of the Rotted Cans. And he is like the size of a small dog instead.
Is he rideable? Is he a mount for you?
Yeah, he's a mount.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us your moves.
Oh yeah.
Show us your moves.
So my 3 moves are: I have Grandma's Ghost, which isn't my grandma. It is in fact the ghost of the Rat King. I have a horse who is my possum,
weird then.
Sir Hooligan, and then I'm a diplomat.
Okay. All right. Let me just for my own information, because I read my materials and not yours. What is everybody's moves? Tony, what do you got? What is Herman's moves?
All right. So a couple things Herman's got going for him. Herman is probably one of my favorite characters I've ever made, and Patchwork World is probably my favorite game of all time. And I'm looking for my character sheet right now. That's why I'm vamping. Here we go. I am Herman, the boy from over there. So you can see me in a large kind of bubble diver suit, and I look like a boy who grew too quickly with wide eyes that have seen too much. I have a couple of goals. One is just to chronicle the lands over here. I want jobs because I've learned that they matter. And then my moves are big suit, which lets me poke into kind of interdimensional pathways and look at other spaces kind of adjacent to our own, move around some, just kind of survive the journey in between. There is a giant bubble on the back of that suit where my now best friend, Rusty the Raccoon, lives and has a hammock in his own little apartment. It's kind of just like a backpack size bubble that sticks out, and he's very evident anytime I turn around. I have a contract with the Blue Merchants, so I can, get in touch with them whenever I need stuff. I have a trusty journal that I keep notes in. I also do, though it is not currently a move, I have a weapon I have a giant sword that is from a goddess friend of mine who just gave it to me, and it's stained with her blood.
Hell yeah. That feels like something a child should not have, but I'll take it.
Not a child, I'm a boy.
A boy, I apologize.
Is Herman still wearing the sandwich board?
Check mark.
Let's say yes.
Herman's definitely
Okay.
still wearing the sandwich.
Oh no, you flipped it. You did flip it to the X when we encountered the frogs, right?
And maybe curiously, I don't know if Herman slept with the sandwich board, but the sandwich board is back on him regardless.
Yeah, I think I made in the pleasure garden. I made my little tent underneath it. Herman sleeps in a lot of small spaces, a lot of small places. He may have spent the first 3 weeks he was over here living in a dumpster outside of a tavern, and thought that was all that over here was, and was not very excited about it.
Okay.
Great.
All right, Borba, what are your moves?
So I'm gonna have to sort of figure out the minutia of everything as we play, being the resident green to everything, not D&D guy. But I'm generally when it's time to fuck shit up, apparently I should be able to do it fairly well kind of guy. So magnificent weapon, which is basically when I want to use my weapon, cool shit happens. Explosive, which is generally in my vicinity when I choose, cool shit happens. And then got inside, which is a different form of explosive, if I'm reading this correctly, but is generally outside of my own personal influence, other than like choosing when I want to invoke it.
Okay. Very
Am
nice.
I on the right track?
I'm going to assume yes.
Okay.
Aaron.
We're figuring it out.
Right. Pale Greta, what are your moves?
Pale Greta is an answer to a question that has plagued me since the year 2002 with the release of the movie Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, which is, what if they let Kathy Bates play Gandalf the White?
It's Kathy Bates, thank you. That has been plaguing me for 2 weeks now, trying to remember the name of who you wanted to play
How
Gandalf.
could you forget?
You could have asked.
I didn't want to
of
ask. I felt ashamed,
misery.
okay? I couldn't remember, but it was such a good query.
Oh, we're having a terrible
And
time.
her moves are Riding Leak, which is sort of like a witch's broom, but it's a very large leak, like vegetable that she can fly around on. She has a Hidden Heart, which represents her recent brush with death. She sort of can never die. Terrible things can still happen to her, but she won't die. And I took the move Parallel Universe Architecture because Grey Greta had the wall ability in Down We Go, and I never got to use it. And I was sad about that. So I can now summon architecture from parallel universes into our own.
This is terrifying, and I can't wait to see what happens with that.
Well, so Greta is not scary. She's very nice. She regrets her killing and looting ways. She was killed by treasure after cold-bloodedly slaying the Rat King. So she's here to make amends.
Let's
Yeah.
be clear. When you say cold-bloodedly slaying, you do in fact mean drowning in sewage.
After
Oh yeah, slowly.
Sewage is a
magically-
nice way to put it.
I made him fall asleep with magic.
Yeah, you
and
drown
then-
the Rat King in a chocolate pudding of sorts that we won't discuss.
Can I also point out the best thing about that intro was your statement was now this week the answer to the question, what if Kathy Bates played Gandalf the White?
Yeah.
Which implies that the normal actor would have played Gandalf the Grey. That when he
Yes,
came
Sir
back-
Ian McKellen does his stuff, goes on the big bridge, does the staff thing, falls
Steals
into
all
a
the
pit,
experience.
and then next time
It's Kathy Bates.
Bilbo sees Gandalf, it's Kathy Bates, and she's like, "Hey, what's up? Long
me.
time no see. I went
Do you
through
not
some shit
remember me?"
recently."
It's Kathy Bates, but she's very tall.
Yeah,
since-
they do the thing where they make Elijah Wood small, but they reverse it, and Kathy Bates is 8 feet tall. This is a fanfic. I'll send you all the link later.
Thank you so much.
I would love to read it. But back
if you
to
buy Patchwork World during this stream, let's set a goal. If 20 people go buy it during the stream, I will harass Aaron King until they write at least one page of that fanfic.
Oh, let's
No
put a
harassment
tracker on
necessary.
that. On-stream tracker on that. Okay.
Oh yeah, I want that to happen now. You forced Aaron's hand, and that's my favorite.
I will also send you for free my Ulysses fanfic, which instead of taking place in Ireland, takes place in Toad Town and stars Mario.
I was really hoping it was going to be Mater. We really got to get into this game.
The third
Yes,
Joe has
we're-
now offered to edit the PayPal or the novel for free.
Joe, you class
Spectacular.
traitor.
I don't know what this stream is, but it's going great. Hopefully y'all are enjoying it. So y'all wake up. Dr. the Rat King, my blinds have just decided to shed the evening sun directly onto my face. You have a letter on your chest. Your possum is sound asleep next to you. Greta the White, or Pale Greta, is also with you. They were dead the day before, at least as far as anybody is familiar.
That's an interesting note. Okay. Well, the letter's addressed to me, so I guess I'm gonna fucking open it. And I'll fucking open it.
The letter reads, "My boy, I'm on the precipice of death. And I need you to make your way into the sewers so that I can provide you my final will and testament to allow you to ascend to the new throne of the Rat King. I understand that you're a doctor now and you may not have the time for this, but you're gonna do it anyway, 'cause I'm your father. Come soon. I'm dying. And that's where the letter cuts off.
Genuine question. Did you read that in that voice to us, or did you read that in that voice to us?
Yes.
Okay.
That's a question for Keegan.
Oh, yes. My bad.
Read it in your dad's
Asking
voice.
Matt
It
I was
sounds
like-
exactly like...
I really want you to have read that to the rest of the group in that voice.
the
Yeah,
best
that's-
impression of your father that was available.
Actually,
Yes.
you. Yeah, that'll be what. Yeah, I did it in that voice.
Okay.
So back to the sewers then.
To which you are muddy and sitting at the entrance of.
Fuck.
All right. Well, I guess I'll wake up Sir Hooligan. Hooligan, let's go. We gotta get back into the sewer.
He does the angry possum, like, mouth open, like, hiss grimace at you, but does climb out of the mud and decide to shake off and get ready to move.
Okay, cool. I will mount my possum.
Okay. I do love sentences that have never been spoken before in the human language.
Context
yeah,
is
that
key,
wasn't the
and
first
it's
time that
still
one's been
unclear
spoken.
in this case. Okay.
All right, so onward into
the
the
sewers!
sewers. The four of you go. You delve down, and down you go into these sewers.
Down we go.
TTRPG.link.
Down you travel into the sewers. You all, or at least those who have survived, relatively know your way into the domain of the Rat King. And as you arrive to the royal throne of the Rat King, a couple things are of note. One, the grate of the sluice gate that the king's chair is affixed to is exactly as it was before you'd cut it off the wall.
Whoa.
He is
So all that work and the expense of my ability is for naught at this point. Am I getting that right?
as far as you are aware. It
I would
looks
genuinely be annoyed by that.
looks like before you had
Abilities
arrived.
reset every 24 hours, so we're in a different system now, so you're good.
Yeah, but I'm
No.
Borba. Borba is annoyed by seeing.
Borba, have you been in the sewers before?
Borba, you're
Sure
gonna
have.
take a stress for that.
Oh, okay.
So you should know then that in this city everything resets every 24 hours.
So, stress is something that I didn't get a really full understanding of just from reading it. So I have one stress. What does that generally mean?
You have a stress tracker. There's little tick marks on your character sheet. When you get too much stress, you're going to check your exhausted move.
Ooh, that's up here. Okay.
It means you're stressed out.
Yep. You could get stressed out.
So we all start with the 6.
Well,
We
you
all start with,
you count up.
6 is the max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6.
Okay.
I hope we don't start at 6.
Sorry, poor wording on my part.
We got you.
Maximum is 6 before things start to happen.
Correct. Dr. the Rat Prince,
Okay.
you also have a stress, because as much as you and your dad have been dissonant, you don't want to see him die, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
I'll mark a stress.
you guys arrive at this throne, and the Rat King is sitting on the throne, not covered in a sluice of fecal matter in which he was suffocated in, but rather sitting there emaciated and sickly and coughing, and very much Shrek 3 King Dad frog coughing on the throne. The rat, all of the other little rats around that are subservient to him are sad or weeping or doing their best to fetch him water and things, but he's not doing good. But as he sees you, Dr. the Rat Prince, his eyes sort of light up in the cataracts within them, and he looks around and he goes, "Well, I can smell that you're here. and I know your general vicinity. Come closer to me.
Yeah,
I'm
of course, Dad.
I'm not doing well.
Dad, you really look like you should eat a sandwich.
I've had more sandwiches than you would imagine in my lifetime. I'm sick
I can
of them.
imagine a lot of sandwiches. Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that. Don't start with me. I will
Okay,
fight.
sorry, Dad.
Good. Now, look into my eyes and listen to the things that I'm saying. In approximately 8 minutes, because we have a really good track of time, I'm going to die. I need you to bring together my funeral and my final words. In order for you to ascend to the throne, you must fulfill these tasks, or I have charged all of the rats to descend into anarchy and melt down my crown.
Well, that doesn't sound fucking good.
Well, I need to make sure that you do this, and I know sometimes you have a tendency to run off and do your own thing, like you did, years ago. So I'm gonna make sure that you do it by creating a really intense ultimatum.
This really feels like a lot, Dad. You have like 8 fucking minutes left. Is this sure how you want to spend it?
Yes, I'm sure. Now listen closely. The first task. You must make sure that the Frog King attends my funeral. He must come willingly, and he must be there for the funeral, not to do something stupid. Like, make sure that he's invited and that he's comfortable coming. The second task is you gotta get the percussion group from the Blue Man Merchant folk, I don't know what the fuck they're called, to play live.
Blue Man Crew.
That's
Okay.
the one. To play live at my funeral. If I don't get them to play, I'm burning that fucking crown.
Okay, can I ask some questions? Can they be any blue men playing percussion?
No, they have to be the ones from the merchant group.
Okay. I mean, that feels like a lot, but okay.
Well,
I'm losing it over here.
you're gonna do it anyway. Listen to what I'm telling you. I only have like 4 minutes left.
Talk faster.
The third task is after the funeral concludes and everybody's sad and you've seen the Frog King shed a tear. I need you to fucking gut him. I don't want him to leave. We still have a feud, and I want that feud to be over as my final wish.
Dad, I got literally 2 gallons of poison to kill this man for. Now you want him gutted?
Well, it's a metaphor. You never understood metaphors.
Nothing else has been a metaphor. Why would this be?
Because I don't use metaphors in my normal rhetoric, Dr. the Rat Prince.
Okay, sorry. You have like 2 minutes. Talk fast.
Yes, no, I know. So you gotta bring him to the funeral. He's gotta come willingly. He's gotta be sad about it. Then you gotta kill him at the end of it. But if the Blue Man Crew doesn't play during the funeral, all bets are off. Those are my terms. And if you can complete these things, my court will ascend you into the place of the Rat King. I may take away the... I don't know if the prefix works with the Rat King. If you can, I don't know if you can be both, but you
I'll be
can...
King Doctor the Rat Prince. I'm following.
Okay. This is good. Also,
Well,
I'm dying now.
it's been nice, Dad.
It's been questionable, but I appreciate you doing my final things. I'm sorry you never knew your mother, but she was quite the... And the Rat King slumps into his throne, dead.
I'm definitely watching this entire thing with just like an increasingly intensifying.
Okay. Well, did anyone hear how much time we had to do this?
Yeah, I was taking notes. And he didn't say.
Okay, cool. It feels like we can take our time then.
Well, I mean, like by the funeral, right? Is it safe to presume the funeral's on a set like day and time? Or is that not the case?
I hold on just a second, and I look back through my last 2 pages of notes. He did not specify.
So we're just
it doesn't
generically like at or by the funeral, these things have to happen.
I mean, I'm not an expert in funerary matters.
Funerary matters.
Funerary matters.
Funereal or funerary?
Funerary sounds, yeah, that sounds good. I am not an expert, but it sounds like we were doing the funeral. Like, it sounds like that's what the funeral was. Like, that it was our job to get people here and then do things that would evoke an emotional response. And then, I mean, like, stab one of them.
Then
That's
kill a
not,
guy.
I don't think that's normal funeral stuff, but I've never been to one before. So, I mean, there's always dead people there, I guess. Yeah. And so I think we're doing the funeral.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Hey, doctor,
Yeah.
are you
It's Dr. the Rat Prince to you, but yeah.
are you sad?
Not really. You'd imagine I would be, but like, he was sort of a bastard. It's just between us.
I look around to all the other rats around.
I was not quiet.
All of the other rats are inconsolably weeping. None of them even processed.
And these are like rats, not like rat people.
It's a combination of both. It's about 1/3 rat people, 2/3 just regular weeping rats, you know.
Okay. Totally normal.
Yeah.
Doctor, second question.
That's, again, Dr. the Rat Prince to you.
Did you know your mom?
No.
All right, I have no further questions.
Thank you.
The defense rests.
Oh, God.
Okay. So, do you think we should be looking for the Frog King first or the Blue Man Crew first?
Oh, I mean, the Blue Man Crew, that's easy.
Well, I've never seen
I'd
him.
vote for the Frog King first. That might take some time and convincing.
Yeah, I can take care. The Blue Merchant Crew, I can take care of them. Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Off to the Froglands.
Do we need
Or
a
just
plan?
further in the sewer.
Are they going to attack us?
I mean, it doesn't feel like a frog would attack us, right?
Well, they at least recognize us, and I'll gesture toward myself and I'm sorry, Tony, I forget your character's name.
Herman.
And like I generally gesture toward us and just be like, well, we didn't kill them even after they fucking stabbed me. So I think we have some good rapport.
Oh, I do have another question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't, I feel bad about my previous life. But I did drown your dad in sewage and then stab him with a vibroblade. And I don't understand. I'm worried this might be a con. I'm worried that was not the Rat King.
Huh. Well, I guess we can go look at him, see if he has a stab wound.
Are you're inspecting for stab wounds?
Yeah, I can look him over for a stab wound. That
Okay.
feels like, oh no, maybe like an inspect the area?
Yeah, go ahead and go ahead and inspect the area of his torso.
Okay, so the questions are, do I take my time? No. Do I have specialized helper equipment? Also no.
I'll help. As the person that killed him, I feel like that means I'm specialized.
It's true,
in it.
you would know where you stabbed him.
Do you still have the vibroblade?
No.
You gave
No,
it back to
I'll-
Borba.
Just like matching it up.
Oh yeah, I still have that.
Borba's still got it.
I tried to give it back, but somebody said, well, it's better with you, so I kept it.
Okay, cool. Well, I guess the answer to one of those is yes. So I'll take a +1 on this, which gives me a 7. So I can ask 2
7.
questions.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, what is useful here,
Okay.
and what's being concealed here?
Okay. So, the first note is he's got a tiny belt on. And he does have 2 little pockets on that belt. One of those pockets is the key to the sluice gate behind you.
He had that the whole fucking time.
He had that the whole fucking time. Yep.
Damn, that is useful.
I will take the sluice gate key.
And then, what was the second question?
What's being concealed here?
Well, I guess they kind of kind of are the same thing. I will tell. I mean, as far as what is being concealed, it is noticeable to you that there are no stab wounds, no scars or anything of the sort. At least from the vibroblade. The man's probably been stabbed a couple of times, but not
Yeah, he
from
was
that.
sort of a bastard. That makes sense. Yeah, it doesn't look like he was stabbed or drowned in sewage, so maybe it was a different rat king.
Wait, do you have two dads?
No, just the one.
I think it's very misleading that his title was the Rat King, so I'm confused.
Well, you see, it's a name and also a title.
This is correct.
Still confused.
Like
Hence
some
Dr.
people,
the Rat
some
Prince.
people are born the Rat King, and other people have the Rat King thrust upon them.
Yeah, like his name is technically King the Rat King, but it just gets shortened usually.
So what's the approach
Sorry,
to get the
my brain
what's the-
just said Martin Luther, the Rat King, and I'm like, that's terrible, and I'm sorry for thinking it.
The worst part was that then you decided to let us all in.
Oh no, it was so good I could not say it, but like I recognize that the intrusive thought in my brain is like, why?
There's no disrespect at this table, so I think
Ooh.
I think we can share a laugh about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna unlock the sluice gate.
Okay, so you unlock the sluice gate, and it slides open respectfully, leaving your father's corpse on its chair.
Oh yeah, this is the gate that
We
I'm
didn't
annoyed
lose
about,
him.
right? Yeah.
Yep,
Should
that's the
we-
gate that you were annoyed about that he just unlocked
Right.
and opened.
Should we bring the corpse?
Nah, I feel like it's like there's only room on this possum for one person.
One
I
of the
put the corpse back down.
one of the little rat people looks at you and goes, "No, you don't get to take the corpse. Excuse me. We have to prep it for the burial. Sort of. We're just gonna run it down the sewer river at the end of the funeral, but
Are we gonna catch it on fire at least?
no, we're gonna send it into the fungal mists, and then it's just gonna dissolve."
Okay,
Won't,
that
it
works
won't
for me.
turn into like a fungal zombie or anything?
No. We're us as rats. We're immune to that.
Oh, that's nice.
It is nice.
Crew, my crew.
Yeah,
Do we need to get something to offer the Frog King? Is he gonna come willingly? Is he gonna be happy about this?
well, you see, what I have here is 2 gallons of poison.
He's immune to the poison. We got that poison out of him.
He
Right, do you
did
want- he
value
might
it though.
want it
He
to-
valued having it.
He might want it to poison the next Rat King.
That
That's
seems
you.
that seems problematic. As long as we don't summon thousands of mice out of the abyss around him, I think we'll be fine.
This is true. So, you all begin marching deeper into the sewers, heading towards where you remember the Frog King was. You get to a turning corridor in which down the hall that you remember the last individual of the Blue Man crew that you had rescued, which did not make it, is silent this time. And you travel instead directly towards the Frog King. You are intercepted by the eyes of 3 of these frogs of his court peering up from the sewage running down center of this, and they stand up and they look at you. Spears rise up and they go full height, which I mean is basically the same height as Dr. the Rat Prince. And they look at Dr. the Rat Prince and they go, "Oi, I don't think we like your kind down here. Not, you want to tell us what you're doing?"
Oh yeah, I'm here on a diplomatic mission.
They're here with me,
Who the fuck are you?
and I'll like give them a single wave as if like I expect them to actually remember me.
Yeah,
Slash know
and
me.
and my follow-up still stands. Yeah, okay. Who the fuck are you?
Borba, we were here just the other day.
You might
had
have
a
been.
little bit of a mishap, but yeah, you stabbed me, or one of your friends stabbed me, and subsequently I didn't do anything. So I think that stands for a little bit of a diplomatic opportunity here.
They all look at each other and they go, "Are you implying that all of us look the same because you can't tell which one of us stabbed you? 'Cause that's a little
Yep.
rude."
Yep.
I can tell
hold
him
on
from
just a
me
second.
and myself.
Hold on.
Got the spears up, like ready to stab you again.
And I look at my journal and I say, it was Girk there.
And they stop for a sec. And they go, the one of them turns and he goes, "Girk, is that true? Did you stab that fella?" He goes, I mean, I might have. They were being a little aggressive. But, he survived, clearly. So, no harm done.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and I mean,
I was just a statement of fact. Like I wasn't, like that was Girk's.
And no offense with the, presumptions thing, but if I'm just being perfectly transparent here, I legitimately cannot tell the difference between you guys. So I guess the name is the best we can do.
You're not
or the best
helping
I
your
can do.
case there, Borba.
I'll shut up.
Who
then.
are you, Bubble Boy?
I write Borba specious in my journal, underline it 3 times.
They all look at you, Herman, and they go, "And who are you so keen to remember us, Bubble Boy?"
Me, I'm Herman.
Oh, well, pleasure to meet you, Herman.
Good
I
to
still
meet
don't
you.
want Dr. the Rat Prince going in, but were you
Hold
on
on.
a...
Let me. I mean, just follow me here. Last time when we brought Rat Royalty, you did want them, and then like the Rat King died, and
Rat King's dead?
now I'm unemployed.
Sorry, I'm lost in this whole situation. I thought the Rat King, like my dad, he died like 15 minutes ago back there.
Okay, so he's dead.
Right, like he's dead.
Fucking good
And
riddance.
And so now there's, I mean, like I'm saying, like he's dead. Like last time we brought Rat Royalty with us, you liked it.
Yeah, because he
and-
was... Wait, when you brought him last time, was he dead also last? Was that a ploy? I'm not following
Last
now.
time he was alive when we brought him, and now he's dead because he just died back there. But now we have new Rat Royalty with us.
I see.
I drowned Keegan's character in sewage. Stab him in the neck with it. No.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Are you the new Rat King then?
No, I'm still Dr. the Rat Prince, not King Dr. the Rat Prince.
I don't understand your hierarchical structure.
Yeah,
but
so
I'll,
if we could just talk to the Frog King, I could probably explain the hierarchical structure, but like there's tiers and like trees, and then there's layers, and then there's like, like planes that each of those are on, and I have to explain
Tell you
all
what.
of those things to make sense of the structure.
Okay, well, tell you what. We'll let you through. But my friend here's just whispered again that he really would like to give Borba another poke, if that's okay, before you go.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, cool. And
Now,
then
hey, I made a couple notes about your form last time. It was pretty good, but I think you could do better.
and the one who's getting ready to stab him is like, "Oh, really? What notes did you have?"
Hold on, I'm looking at what journal does so that I can execute this move the way I want. I don't. Yeah. So, all right. I wanna stare into eyes not my own.
Okay.
I'm gonna maneuver myself over in front of his spear, and I'm gonna point it like at my abdomen, right on the suit, and I'm gonna be like, yeah. So last time you hit him here, and really where you want to hit him is right here, like moving it up and down on my body. And it's the questions are: have you made yourself vulnerable, which I am doing right now, putting myself.
Okay.
And then, do you know something important about them? I knew their name.
You
was
knew their
Dirk.
name. I'll count it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so I'm rolling at 2+ because of my journal on staring into your eyes, not your own. All right, that's an 11 + 2.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So what is the outcome of this particular move? or what is the intent
Yeah,
here?
so on a 10 plus I asked 2, and then on a 7 to 9 I would choose some other things. I'm gonna say I want to know, how could I get you to let us buy? Which, if the answer is just poke Borba, that's fine too. Like, and then
Love me
uh,
Can I hold
and then I think the second question I want to ask is, can I hold you?
Okay. So the first question will be answered in the manner that you were anticipating. He goes, no, I really like those notes. I didn't realize I hit so high up into the ribs. I wasn't going for the lungs. I really wanted to puncture the stomach, so you just ended up septic.
It's always better.
So yeah, that is the goal. So I'll try that this time. But also, I don't know that I've ever had anybody ask me.
Well, I was thinking if I got
before.
behind you and I put my arms around you, that I could just help you get in exactly the right spot.
Oh, see, I thought that you wanted a hug.
Well, I'm not saying it's not semicolon A, semicolon B. We can, I mean, you know.
It's like
Okay.
it's
Well,
like
yeah,
the movie
I mean,
Ghost, where they make a pot together on the pottery wheel.
I'm not.
But
this
instead
is
they stab Herman's friend Borba.
There's
Yeah,
definitely a
okay.
weird air of sensuality here.
So, yeah. If you wanted to help, I'm always down to learn. Borba, could you stand still for me? I really want to get this one right.
Absolutely not.
Wait. I thought we were all having a moment here.
And if he does anything, I will invoke my explosive ability.
And I say, I put my hand on his lips. And I say, shh. This is what it's like when Herman doesn't have a job. It's very dangerous for everybody.
Okay. I'm going to step in here finally. During all of this,
I wrap my hands around the frog person.
Okay.
You see,
He's getting ready.
we turn to see Dr. the Frog Prince, and he's just head back.
Rat Prince.
And I am being the Rat Prince. Oops, I am being possessed by my father now.
Oh no.
Going to go ahead and use that move because my father has a move called Animal Friendship. So
It also seems a little bit speciesist, but
yeah, you know, I know what sort of game this is. So my father's speaking through me. We're now going to say, hey, maybe we shouldn't do any stabbing. You know, we just want to talk to the Frog Prince. Maybe we do stabbing like later.
That's not how your dad sounds.
Take my breath away.
Channel King Candy for me.
Speaking through me. I'm not even trying. But I would like to use my animal friendship move. So
Are these animals?
They're frogs, are they not?
They're sentient anthropomorphic frogs. What do you consider an animal, Keegan?
I
What
would
is your
consider
line?
myself an animal.
All right, fair enough. Please continue.
You, Keegan, or you, the Rat Prince?
Me, Dr.
Both,
the Rat Prince.
probably.
Yeah. So the questions here are: am I alone? No. Have I exposed myself to the animal's dangers? Not myself, but that's okay.
I'm gonna say probably no to that one too.
Yeah. That's fine. That's a 6. The animal won't attack me, but it remains aggressive. It was worth a shot. I'm sorry, Borba.
Yeah, he's gonna look at you and he goes, "Yeah, no, I appreciate the additional interest in protecting your friend. It's not even like I'm trying to kill him. I just want to perfect the form, and Herman's being so nice to help out. Now let's get to stabbing."
While he's talking, my arms are just like wrapped around him, like.
Oh yeah, no, he's
holding
prepped,
him.
and they've both just been waiting this whole time as Dr. the Rat Prince starts talking as his father is channeled through him, and they're just like silently waiting in this intimate moment, like looking at Dr. the Rat Prince, and then don't give a shit, and then proceed to thrust this spear directly towards Borba. What is explosive for me?
Yeah, that's gonna be like so do I need to choose it? It says I need to choose how I cause things to combust. The options are chemical, magical, and emotional. Do I get to like choose in the moment which of those three, or do I have to like pick one and that's just the ability, how it works
In my idea,
functionally.
it's kind of you choose when you take the move. You know,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
So
are you throwing a
contextually in this
bomb?
moment, yeah.
Are you throwing a
Okay.
bomb? Are you casting a fireball? Are you like using weird?
So let's go with magical, just
Okay.
to be, consistent with my basic D&D bitchness here. It's a magical explosion.
We got 2 stats: D&D bitchness and indie RPG.
So I have to roll something to see what the effect is.
So
is that
there,
a D20?
there should be 2 questions on
So
that.
yes,
Answer
the
those
move
2
says-
questions.
First, you have to
Um,
mark a hex or a stress. You have to kind of summon this power from you somehow.
Oh, okay. I will take a hex for this then.
Okay.
And then the first question is, am I angry? The answer would be I was, but now understanding that this is just a sort of like exercise / weird camaraderie thing that's happening between my compatriot and somebody who's already tried to stab me to this point, I'll say no-ish. Could it hit multiple targets? I don't intend it to.
But it could.
But it could.
It's because especially
'Cause
since
I'm
Herman
wrapped
is wrapped
around,
around.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Embracing the
Yeah.
frog.
Kirk.
Are you sure
Okay.
you're not angry?
His name is Kirk. I mean,
No.
I would be angry if I were you. It's fine though.
Yeah.
Yeah, would we categorize like annoyed as angry?
You
I
could.
want to prevent myself from being stabbed. At first, I was legitimately angry that this guy wanted to stab me again and learn how to do it better because he already did it once and it fucking sucked.
You know what?
And you're not at all angry that one of your friends has been like, "I'll help him do it."
Yeah,
better."
exactly.
That all of us were like, this feels like an appropriate reaction. Yeah, we should allow him to be stabbed.
I'll give you
I'm
the
annoyed.
on that.
I'll give you the anger
I lean
point.
toward angry. Yeah.
I'll give you the +1 on. So you're rolling with +2. You'll roll 2d6. Add the 2 to it.
2d6.
Tell me what the total is.
Total. So 11. Or sorry, 9. You said +2.
Yep.
So 11.
11. Okay. What is the outcome of this explosion?
So, yeah,
10
on
plus choose 3. Okay.
Yeah.
So it deals great harm. It only affects what you want it to affect. It doesn't continue to burn, or you are not revealed as the source. I get to choose 3 of those.
Okay.
Oh, that's a tough choice, actually.
Clock's ticking. This magic's going off.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it only affects what I want it to affect. So just the frog that's fucking stabbing me again.
His name is
Okay.
Gurk.
Yeah.
He's a frog that's stabbing me again, sir.
Okay, but his name is Gurk.
I will say it does not continue to burn. It'll be like a one and done. And deals great harm.
Okay.
So I am revealed as the source.
Okay. So you both, Herman and Gurk, thrust towards Borba, and before Borba reaches this point of impact, Gurk just immolates in a... Oh, where's my D6s? I'm going to just... Blue flame. A terrible blue flame that just encompasses him. Does not burn you, Herman, except
I
for...
want to point out you said you were only going to do this if he stabbed you and he hadn't stabbed you.
Oh, you did. Which means 2 fun things. So instead of him almost stabbing you, you get stuck in the gut, and as soon as you get stuck in the gut with this spear, flame just like licks out of the wound, runs up the spear, and then immolates this poor frog.
Yeah.
As he crackles and burns, and you smell what the rock is cooking, and this poor frog just crumbles to very quick arcane ash. Herman, you're gonna take a stress for that. Because
I whisper gently, "It's okay," as his ear slowly turns to ash in front of me.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
sucks.
gonna give Herman a stress and a hex, because you are exposed to major magical forces. You were embracing the guy. That counts. Borba, you're going to take 2 stress from the actual wound.
Okay.
The whole time this is going on, I've been transfixed on pale Greta. Mads, we didn't talk about this before stream. Is this the version of the Rat King that just died, or is this the version of the Rat King I'm possessed by that was drowned in sewage instead?
You don't know.
He is currently possessing me.
If you have, okay. So if he is currently possessing you, what are you trying to lean towards with the Rat King's possession right now? Why do you ask?
Because if I'm being possessed by the Rat King, and the person who killed him is pale Greta, who is standing next to me.
It was actually gray Greta.
Sure. Greta in a different colored coat.
Yeah, reskinned Greta. Go ahead and give me a D6 roll. Evens, old Rat King, odds, new Rat King.
It's the new Rat King. You're safe today.
Okay. All right,
Thank you, King the Rat King.
The 2 other frogs, stare at the 4 of you and go, Herman, was that the tactic that you were planning on? Was that just an unfortunate circumstance of hitting the right spot? I don't know that I want to stab anybody in the gut anymore.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note about it for the future. Maybe you should too. I don't know. That's the first time I've ever helped a frogman stab one of my friends in the gut. But I've learned some lessons today. I hope you have also.
We definitely have. But our word is our bond, and I suppose he did get to stab Borba. So if you want to proceed forward, we're going to try to sieve our friend out of the muck, and bury him somehow.
And I say, here you go, and I take all the ash that's in my hands, and I shake it into a little pouch for him.
They take their hands out and just let it be received. Okay, so onward you all 4 travel towards the the Frog King.
So quick question for you, Mads. I didn't catch if there are any iterative effects that happen for stress and hex, or is it only when you hit the max?
Only when they top off.
Hit the max.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're good. You. Yes.
So, Grandma's ghost, the ghost of the Frog King, of the Rat King. God damn it, I'm gonna keep doing that. The ghost of the Rat King does in fact relinquish control only after he gains vengeance on his enemies, which were in fact the frogs. So in seeing a frog immolated, he has given control back to Dr. the Rat Prince.
Okay. Do you remember any of that, Dr. the Rat Prince?
Not a moment of it.
Perfect. Love it. Yeah, so Borba's bleeding out of a wound in his stomach, and you all 4 walk forward, unhindered by the frogs, to reach the throne of the Frog King, another big crossroads within the sewers in which this massive frog is sitting in the center, currently gorging himself on mummy parts that have been reclaimed from different portions of the sewers from where the undead roam by the frogs to feed him something in his insatiable appetites. As he pulls down basically an entire rotted, mind you, human thigh, he looks over at the 4 of you and he goes, I see. Why are you all here?
Oh, Frog King, we've been looking for you.
And why are you here?
Oh, you see, Dad died, wanted you at his funeral. It's a whole hubbub. We thought we'd come down and invite you.
Oh yeah, new guy. Okay.
Your father just invited me to the...
Yeah.
And he puts one of the arms down that he was eating, and he goes, after all of this feuding, your father would dare invite me to
okay, take
his
a breath,
funeral.
slowly.
Just
No.
like,
Every fucking time.
lays on his back as his Croaking pouch is fully inflated.
Pufferfish style.
Yep, pretty much.
Nice.
Do we need to wait till that goes down to finish having this conversation?
One of the other frogs looks at you and he goes, "It might be best. He can't respond when he's like that. It'll take a couple of minutes."
All right.
Put some ice on it.
Did you say mice on it? I don't think that's a good idea.
No, that's not a good idea. Who said
Yeah.
mice? I don't like that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, I'm shutting up now because my one contribution has been not helpful.
You're not looking too good, friend.
No,
What's going on with your gut?
Ask these guys. I don't even know anymore. I'm just here for the ride
got
and the
stabbed.
payout.
Let's just say that we all learned some valuable lessons about whether or not stabbing people in the right spot with spears is a good idea or not.
While the Frog King is deflating, can I stare into his eyes, please?
You're gonna walk behind him and get to his eyes and give him a stare.
Yeah.
You may.
The questions are, have I made myself vulnerable? I don't think so, particularly. Do I know something important about him? I know about the whole rats flooding out of him thing. I don't know if that counts.
Well, and I'll give it to you. You know enough about the Frog King's generalized anxiety, as well as the fact that he's immune to these poisons and that he fucking hates rats. I'll allow it.
All right, here we go. 2d6 plus 1. That is a 7 altogether.
Okay.
I can either ask 2 and mark a stress, and you ask me 1, or I can ask 1, and the GM ask me 1. I'm going to mark a stress, but
Okay.
because of my hidden heart, stress doesn't affect me in the normal way, and I mark a hex. So it's a weird magical stress. My heart is hidden somewhere. I'm going to ask 2 questions of the Frog King, and then Mads gets to ask me 1 from this same list. I think the first question is, how could I get you to attend this funeral?
The Frog King in this moment, as you stare into his eye, because they're kind of on the opposite sides of his head, and he's on his back, but he deflates and kind of rolls to look at you, and he goes, I just wanted my, well, I feel embarrassed to say now. The war started so long ago. The leg of the throne, that was my favorite trowel, and he never gave it back.
I'm sorry, your favorite trot hole?
Nope, trowel, like the little gardening shovel.
That makes more sense.
Yep. If I could see that returned, I could end our feud and attend his funeral. We used to be friends, you know.
The feud's sort of over. He's already dead, but I think I understand what you're getting to.
The feud's still on until I get my goddamn trowel back.
Greta, what's your other question?
Yeah,
I think
please.
my other question is, my other options are, what are you feeling? I feel like I already got a good sense of that. What do
Fair.
you intend to do? I feel like I got a sense of that. I mean, I could ask, are you telling the truth? But I trust Mads. So I'm gonna pass. But Mads, if you want to ask me 1
Where
about
is
Greta,
where is this list?
page 3 of the PDF, default moves, stare into eyes not your own, and it's the bottom bulleted list. What are you feeling? Are you telling the truth? What do you intend to do? How could I get you to blank? Can I hold you? Will you love me if I blank?
I'm gonna respond with, I'm gonna ask, will you love me if I choose not to attend this funeral?
I do respect the kind of existential self-creation of that, but respect is not the same as love. I've loved a number of people that I did not respect. So no.
I I appreciate your honesty. If we can come to an agreement that I can receive that trowel back at the conclusion of the funeral, I will make it.
Out of character, we're gonna stab him with this trowel, right?
Oh, fucking completely.
Absolutely.
I like that I said out of.
right?
I like that I said out of character, and Keegan answered in character.
You gotta.
Keegan's really digging into the method acting here.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Okay. So he rolls back over and he goes, well, if that is the case, when is the funeral so that I know when to attend?
You know, we probably should have thought about that,
Yeah, I mean, we're in charge, so we can just pick it. Like, it could be when we get back.
Yeah, it's later today. How long do you think it's gonna take to get the Blue Men crew?
Oh, I mean, that'll be fine.
Okay, cool. It's in like 3 hours. Yeah.
Very, very short notice to try to convince a feuding enemy warlord to attend a funeral, but...
Well, you know, we planned the funeral around you, so now that you're able to come, we'll schedule it for you just, like, getting the fuck up and going over.
Now I'm flattered. You flatter me. Nobody's ever planned a funeral of somebody else around me.
I want to place my little rat hand on him and be like,
Don't
My
touch
father
me, please.
always loved you.
Please don't touch me.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Also, are you lying or did you mean that?
Oh, dead serious. You know, after his wife died.
I don't want to talk about Emily.
Oh, damn. I should have asked about Emily.
I always knew her as Reverend the Rat Queen.
She was a wonderful pastor as well as a rat queen. It is my greatest sadness that somebody who was not even rat blood ended up in line to be the queen of the rats instead of with me.
I would like to.
Okay, please. I don't know what you're doing, but I need it.
We're gonna see if this works at all, mechanically or otherwise. But I'm gonna got inside. I'm just gonna give him a pat on the back and say, "Sounds like she wasn't the one for you, man." And try to like influence his emotional reaction to my attempt at comfort.
Okay. Is this a move or is this just you in role play?
No, this is a move.
Okay.
So it reads, you have godliness in you, whether it's part of you or you carry it is up to you. Add a personal tag to describe how it affects you. When you access your personal spark of divinity in order to pass the consequences of a 6 minus.
Yeah, a failure
roll
on
to
the
your
rolls.
surroundings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mark one hex and roll with the questions. Does your actions speak to the properties watched over by your divine self? I don't really understand that question, to be
Does your
honest.
god, would you and your personal spirituality, does the questions or what you're trying to present to the Frog King, are they reinforced by your actions that you're making here?
Let me try to D&D speak this real quick.
I would appreciate that.
Is this part of your deity's domain?
I would say in a way.
Tell us about this deity.
Yeah, so Borba's been like in the last game in this one, like aggressively, like ready to fight on a whim. Here we go, kind of person. But there's a little bit more depth to them in that combat and death, you know, inescapably in some cases, is usually a means to a more peaceable overall end. So there is a mix of I'll kill what I need to in order to achieve peace, but if I can achieve peace without violence, there is an aspect of that.
Okay, I'll give it
So
to
that's
you
what I'm
then.
going for.
I feel like that aligns. You're trying to find a resolution here.
Right, I'm trying to like help mend a harm here.
Okay.
And the second question is, has your anger or jealousy been roused? That's a no.
Okay.
Does that
So-
affect anything?
Yeah, so that means you're going to be rolling 2d6 plus 1 for the yes on the first question, but you don't get the plus 1 for the yes on the second
Oh.
question.
Yeah, so for each
Okay.
answer you can say yes to, you get +1 to the roll that it's triggering.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's a 9.
Okay.
So with the 1, that'll be a 10.
Okay, 10's a success.
So
Okay.
technically this move is about if you roll a 6 or less, you can then use this deity that's hiding inside you to pass those bad things on to something other than you. But
Pass bad things on. Okay.
right. But I mean, it's up to
I'm gonna, yeah.
I'm going
so,
for good things.
yeah, in the sake of this scenario, I'm gonna say passing things on in this case is you almost making amends with the group that you've been relatively specious towards and who has stabbed you and you immolated by twice trying to help quell the sorrow within the Frog King. And as you say these words and you kind of are moving forward with purpose and personal growth throughout the course of your 2 entrances into these sewers, he goes, "Oh, I know. I am aware and I appreciate your words. I feel like I never really got over her and her choice to pick the Rat King, that bastard, over me. But maybe it was for the best. I've never been one to be tied down to one individual woman."
We've all been there.
I'm not sure I'm going to take your condolences yet, but I will
Extremely fair.
at least hear them.
It is an understandable position. However, I'm sure you'll come out of the other side of it a better frog.
Thank you. Now, I must don my favorite tie before I make it to the funeral if I can find it. Would you all take your leave? And I will meet you. Where is the funeral? I hadn't asked yet.
Oh, it can it's just like, in our sort of section of sewer over there.
I will roll my way there.
Sick. We'll see you there.
I'm
all
glad I
right.
can
Well,
finally put all this behind us, and he kind of sheds a couple more tears for Emily as he continues to now move on to one of the forearms of this dismembered mummy that he'd been consuming as he eats his sadness.
hey Doc, your mom
yeah.
wasn't a rat.
So first of all, it's Dr. the Rat Prince to you.
Yeah, you've mentioned that. Your mom wasn't a rat.
Yeah, this is news to me. I have some serious questions about how I came out as a rat. If Dad was a rat and she was a human woman or some shit.
Maybe possum, maybe mommy.
The
boy.
the possibilities are endless.
Did you say possum abilities?
I did not.
Dr. the Rat Prince, you're going to take a stress for that terrible pun. It's inescapable.
That seems fair.
Okay. With that, and moving on to, as you leave the Frog King's quarters to move on to the next portions of your task before this grand funeral, we are going to take a quick intermission. We're going to go 5-7 minutes-ish. We will be right back with more Chaos, playing Patchwork World on the top shelf, and we'll see y'all soon. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. This is the Top Shelf, episode 19. We're playing the Patchwork World. For anybody joining us in that intermission, for anybody who's still here, you all are familiar with the amount of chaos that this group all brings. We are currently prepping the funeral for the Rat King, who has died, and he
Horrible death.
horrible, terrible death, twice, sort of.
Two deaths, yeah.
Objectively, the first death was worse than the second, so maybe he got a reprieve from that. But as you all press forward after having convinced the Frog King to attend the Rat King's funeral, you've learned some weird things about Dr. the Rat Prince's long-lost mother, as well as some of the eating habits of the Frog King. Not that they matter too much, but we are currently leaving the throne room and jurisdiction of the Frog King as you hear down the way, Philanthropus! Philanthropus! Where are you? From down one of the tunnels. You can choose to investigate this or you can press forward, but...
I'm sorry, what was it?
Philanthropus.
I don't recognize that name.
Me neither.
Cool, let's keep going then.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I lived a life of murder and treasure looting.
Yeah,
And
you
I
apparently
am-
killed my dad.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you knew that. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. You told me like an hour ago.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Was there a through line to that?
I'm trying to live a better life now. And if someone needs help, especially in these deep dark sewers, I feel like I got to go help them.
Okay, but we did tell the Frog King that the funeral was in like 3 hours, so there's better to be some fast help.
Or how about this? We split the dang party. You all do your blue man stuff. I'll be down here.
Oh, I mean that we don't need to take a like that'll be quick.
Okay, if it's gonna be quick, yeah, let's go.
Okay.
We'll follow you, Greta.
Pale Greta, you lead the way, following the
Hello.
sound of this voice. And what you find is one of these terribly irradiated mummies shambling around, shouting this name over and over, a little panicked, shambling a little bit quicker than normal. Philanthropus, where are you? Who are you for? And why are you down here? Have you seen Philanthropus?
Did she look like? And then I described the mummy that the Frog King was eating.
Impeccably. How did you know? Where is she?
Oh, I saw someone like that one time.
Oh. Just passing statements. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I just, did she look like this? And then I show him a picture, and I just have my thumb over where I've sketched the Frog King, chomping down in the middle of Philippus's body in my journal.
they eye it impeccably and they goes, yes, last time I saw Philanthropus was during the frog raids. And I worry the worst.
Well, I'll tell you what. If by chance the frogs got her and they ate her, then
you can find her murderer at the Rat King's funeral in about 3 hours.
Exactly. And then if they die because they did bad things, that's on them and maybe you some, but not on us.
Are you telling me you know who killed? Or are you telling me that
I don't know.
there's going to
I
be
don't
a
know
lot
why
of
we're being
frogs?
so sensitive around this. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know
the-
what happened. I don't know this. I wasn't there for the series of events. It's not in my journal here.
Yeah, we were watching the Frog King eat her shortly ago.
She could have already been dead.
I said he was eating her. I didn't say anything about the state of her life or death or whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
First of all, how dare you to question our state of life and death? Second of all, why didn't you just lead with that? We could have just gone in with all of the undead and burned down the frog place.
I mean, in my
He
defense,
was trying to
I
bring it
believe
up.
we actively weren't questioning your state of life or death.
Sorry, I'm emotional.
That's okay. I understand.
We've been there.
Look, you said that the frogs are going to be at the Rat King's funeral? I didn't know he died.
Oh yeah, he died I think it's been like an hour and 10 minutes ago.
The funeral's in 4 hours post his death?
Yeah, we move fast over in the rat sewers.
Makes sense. Y'all have short lives.
You have short lives. I'm sorry, I'm emotional.
What did I don't know that you can use that as an excuse if you can't. That's like saying no offense and then saying an offensive thing. This feels rude. Look,
You've both lost somebody recently.
Yeah, my dad did just die an hour and 11 minutes ago.
This is fair. I will bring all of our soldiers, and we will meet you at the funeral. And when the funeral commences respectively, we'll make sure that the frogs never make it out for this transgression.
Okay, but you have to be very clear. You need to wait till after the band, the Blue Man Crew, plays.
The Blue Man Crew are playing?
We're getting there. We're still trying to set it up. This conversation's now taken 2 minutes. So we have 2 fewer minutes to set that part up.
Yeah, Herman, give him a call right now. See if
It's going to be better if we do it when we're at the place we want them to play. Trust me.
tell them we have a fan here.
I understand we have a fan. Look, things are a little awkward between Craig and I after last time. I'd rather wait until we were there.
I don't know what I'd. Wait, I'm
Wear something
huge
blue.
fans.
Yeah.
I'll go change my wraps.
How many
Thank
mummies are there in your army? I just want to make a note here for catering purposes.
About 45.
Okay.
Last I checked.
We can get
40.
some good sewer trash
God,
for you.
44.
Any dietary restrictions?
We don't eat vegetable matter.
That's
that
fair.
is
We
that
eat
is
a
a
lot
little
of
hard
that.
down here. Okay.
Yeah.
We primarily consume the souls of the living, or frogs.
Oh,
Oh,
Are you questioning the life of frogs now? I
no,
thought we weren't doing that.
frogs live and die. We're saying we kill the frogs more as a blood sport sort of thing, but
We understand that. Okay.
they eat a
on
lot
the
of
same
us,
page
so
again.
we just have to make sure we even the odds, because otherwise our population will dwindle as they grow. So we kill them for the fun of it.
It definitely feels good to wipe out all the frogs and have you all as the other major force in the sewer. This feels like it won't turn out bad for me.
Hey,
Yes.
did you know someone named Emily
Emily,
in the sewers? About how old are you, Doc?
God, I just did describe myself as just being a rat. I'm gonna say like 15. Very large rat.
Someone who frequented the sewers about 15 years ago.
Emily seems like a disastrously normal name for anybody that I would know. We all have very complicated names like Philanthropus.
Did you happen to know her as Immelantis?
No, that's made up. I don't know.
Okay,
That's
cool.
not a thing.
Emelantis is what I take for my heartburn.
Oh, okay. I thought I saw the name somewhere.
Yeah.
I see. Well, look, I will meet you all there. You said 3 hours. That gives me enough time to change my wraps for the Blue Man Crew. I wonder if they'll give me an autograph. I have to go.
Thank
you. They shamble off down the other way.
Great. Well, that was easy enough. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's talk to Craig.
look. I mean, I can talk to Craig. I'm just gonna need. I'm gonna need a second. We can keep on walking. Y'all just make sure I don't bump into anything. And I'm gonna pull my armor up. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Rusty real quick.
Okay.
Hey, Rusty bud. I'm gonna need you to step in here, Aaron King, because you're the only one who can play Rusty.
Me?
I'm not voicing him. You voiced him last time.
I promise not to.
No,
play
come
it.
on,
late.
you got to.
I think the voice is too close to Dr. the Rat Prince.
That's fine.
It's a raccoon. He's a possum-sized large rat person.
Come on,
thing,
Aaron.
So like.
Hey, buddy. Hey, what's up? I got some big dreaming to do. It's pretty soon here, so let's
So you remember Craig and how like we ran into him at the marketplace and we got the net launcher and like things were kind of awkward. Not like at first things were fine, but then like he said he would call and he never did. So like, what do I do the next time I see him?
Oh, kind of important thing. You don't got a phone, bud. So.
Right,
how's
but
he
I just
gonna
meant
call?
like I just figured he meant like a call that would echo through the spheres or a call that would like resonate in my heart.
Beat through your bloodstream. Yeah, one
Yeah.
of those. Yeah. He might be dead. Bright side. That's why he didn't call you.
I mean, that is less. I mean, it's a funeral, I guess.
I
That
hear
is-
I'm
not
been
happy
going
about it, but-
around.
Okay. But like, do you think I should just play it cool, or do you think I should like Like, ask.
Okay, what about this? I had a similar problem once where I was trying to steal some jewels from an aristocrat, a real kind of down low, exploitative motherfucker. And I thought I had him on the hook. And he was like, yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk business. And we didn't. And then I just went and took him anyway. So what do you need from him? And if he's not around to talk to you, how can you get it without him?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I could just talk to Dorb, I guess, if he's not around.
Yeah, I mean, that's an important thing. Like, are we talking about getting your personal emotional needs met? Or is there something else, because they're merchants. They buy,
Right.
they sell.
Like, I guess that's my question. Was this just all just an exchange of convenience?
Yeah, I mean, probably he was manipulating you to make some money. And this is once again why we smaller beings should feel free whenever we want to just kind of take something from people.
I guess that tracks. You always know what to say, Rusty. Thanks so much.
Yeah, like I said, I got big dreams. I will be sleeping.
Yeah, here's some snacks.
Oh. He eats them and then drools and falls asleep.
Yeah, you got like Cheeto dust on your
bring
raccoon
some-
belt.
Bring-
Five-dimensional Doritos.
Five-dimensional Doritos.
There you
Yeah,
go.
There you
bring
go.
some of that green juice next time.
Yeah. All right.
Fair
So
enough.
I'm gonna pop back out of my suit.
Okay. So y'all have been walking, and now you said you wanted to contact him at a point that where he would be playing. So you're heading back to the throne room with the Rat King before
I
you
think
do
so.
this? Okay.
Yeah.
So you return to this space. At this point, you notice that there has been a tiny, like, ramshackle, rusty metal boat built for the Rat King, and the Rat King has been wrapped in, like, discarded shirts and stuff, like burial garments, and he's been put in this tiny boat. One of you does notice. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Borba. I'm gonna make Borba. You specifically notice about this little boat that it has been entirely, or at least a good chunk of it has been reconstructed from the actual throne of the Rat King, and so the trowel that the Frog King wants is part of the structural pillaring of this boat.
This
Oh,
is
boy.
quality GMing. This is not an exaggeration. That's some of the finest GMing.
It really is.
All right, I'm on board.
Okay.
No, the boat can only fit one person. You don't want to get on board yet.
Do we need a bigger boat?
I think we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Matt's out of character.
Yes. What is your question out of character?
Do we need a bigger boat?
Is a boat an architectural feature?
No, a boat is not an architectural feature.
What if it's
Oh,
What if it's a houseboat?
What if it's a houseboat?
da-da?
then technically yes. Y'all have bested me once again.
My father did always love a fucking houseboat.
Pale Greta says, like, I have a solution. I'm going to need a few seconds to survey this area, figure out how much space we have.
To be fair, within
that
the
much.
meta, only Borba noticed the trowel.
Oh, shit.
So he would have to make that known to everybody, and however he's doing that for you to proceed.
Greta's
So-
just splashing around in the sewage then.
Well,
Brother,
if-
you're gonna get
if-
your white coat all fucked up.
If the thing that's happening is realizing that the boat can actually only fit one instead of all of us, which
I mean,
would be the
y'all are
point.
not traveling in the boat. The boat is the little thing that they put the corpse on, and they're gonna sail it down the river as his feet. That's
okay.
his coffin, basically. I don't know why y'all need a bigger
enough.
boat.
He
Fair
just
enough.
said he was on board. I tried to make a joke.
I know it was a
Oh,
joke,
no,
and
that
that
was
it
totally out of character.
disastrously
I
derailed.
get it.
Okay, cool.
Doesn't matter. It's where we are now.
It is
I'm just
true.
trying to get that trowel.
Okay, so at the point that I observed that, observe the fact that it's part of the structure of the boat, I would definitely relay that information as covertly as possible to at least Herman.
There's a what now where?
If I recall correctly, and please check your notes,
Yes.
we need that trowel.
Someone wants that trout, yes. I mean, we don't need it. The Frog King wants it.
The Frog King wants the trowel. Oh, but we're also supposed to kill the Frog King. Common goals point to we should take that.
Yeah, it couldn't hurt to have it just in case.
I mean,
I
yeah,
could probably just, I don't know, disconnect it.
no one's sitting on it right now. Like,
Oh no, it's just anchored to the side of the side of the river, but the Rat King's corpse is on it.
We
right.
just like moved at it. It's not a big deal.
We got to move him anyways to the boat.
No, he's in the boat.
He's on the boat.
It's so
The
big now.
trowel is part of the boat.
I don't know what's happening.
No, okay. So just clarification, when I said I'm on board, I did not mean in game I'm on the boat.
Why are you up on that boat?
I made a joke and it spun
No,
out
I
of
was-
control.
I was on board with the plan.
No, we
And
get
now
it.
I don't even know what that is
The
anymore.
plan was to make a bigger boat.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Okay. So is anybody like clearly leading the proceedings of the funeral or anything along those lines?
There has been a tiny pulpit created so that people can speak.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a few words. My father.
There's also a small buffet table, but it's all like Charlotte's Web level, like carnival garbage that
And
rats
we're still
eat.
in the sewers.
Oh, there
Yes.
is a very
Okay, so I would
Thank
like
you.
to
Can I-
I would like to look around for a be it a plank or a piece of fucking particle board, I don't even know, some sort of at least semi-suitable replacement for the space that me removing the trowel could replace.
Okay.
If only you had an ally that could summon architecture from a parallel dimension.
Do I? I mean, help me out here.
Yeah, that's Pale Greta.
Okay. I mean, I would be telling, since I told people about, like, we need that.
I thought you only told Herman. And having
only told
already...
Herman.
I said at least Herman.
Okay.
So open
We'll-
to interpretation.
We'll say for the forward momentum of what is happening right now, Pale Greta is familiar with the situation at this point.
Okay.
As like anything that moves this forward.
Pale Greta starts measuring the width of the canal. Herman, if you want to do your contract thing now, I got to take some measurements.
Where are they gonna play?
Over there.
Where?
Over where you're from, just off screen.
You won't be able to hear it then.
That's fine. Dad didn't say they had to be heard, just that they had to play.
Okay. Herman is gonna go to the other end of the room and then step sideways.
Okay. So, that is. Oh, this is not what I was anticipating when I said over there, but I forgot that you were the boy from over there. So, you just kind of.
Let me clarify. Sideways is also 100% as written where the blue merchants are.
It's spectacular. Okay. Is this a move that you can take?
Sideways is not the same thing as yes, it is. It's a very easy. That's why the entire time I was just like, no, it'll be fine.
Let's hear the move. Tell
Yeah,
us
let's
about
hear
this.
the move.
Blue merchant contract. You have an ongoing arrangement with tall blue-skinned merchants that live just sideways of the places we know. When you need a rare object or dangerous contraband and have the time to draw up a contract, one of the merchants will step forth to help. Choose up to 3 from the list below and roll with the number of options marked. And then depending on how well I roll, there's a set of options. There are a number of things I can do in order to improve my roll. They are not questions. They're all other things. Some of them are going to depend on which merchant shows up, though, at this point in time, unfortunately. They are give over a valuable object, reveal a secret to the merchant, and then mark 2 stress. Channel magical energy to the merchant, mark 2 hex, lose a memory to the merchant, erase 1 experience. Which is what part of the reason I'm unemployed is because I gave them my job title last time. Where this is one I am absolutely taking. Wear a sigil of the merchant, patch/sandwich board, etc. Erase 2 reputation, sacrifice future possibilities, or give over your heart. You are in love with the merchant. Depending on which one shows up, will depend on whether that last one comes into play or not.
Haven't you done? You've done that one before, and that's why you are.
No, we flirted, but I didn't give my heart over to them.
Oh.
All right.
Because I wasn't ready to give my heart over to them last time.
It's a good move. You don't want to jump at that the first interaction.
Yeah. And if it's Droob who shows up, it's not going to happen. But if Craig shows up, like,
it could happen.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So how does this roll function? Are there benefits? Are there pluses to this roll, or does it just happen?
Each of those things give me a plus to that roll. I can take up to 3 of them. So I am going to wear a sigil of the merchant, and add a blue merchant advertisement to my sandwich board.
Okay.
that I'll get from them. I think I'm going to channel 2 magical energy into the merchant also too. I'm going to give them 2 of my magical energies. And then depending on whether or not it's Craig or Droob or Greg or Berg or Greg or whoever, it'll depend on whether or not I give my heart over to them.
Fair enough.
So I guess I'm asking you, the GM, which one shows up.
Fair enough. Roll, because I'm not rolling for anything this game. Roll a d6. Anything other, if you roll a 6, it's Craig.
It's a 6.
Very nice.
Tell your story, little man.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, we were at the fair last time.
Right.
Thanks for the net. How have things been?
It's good. I meant to. I know you said I meant to call. I didn't.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that.
I'm sorry for that. Stuff came up. We're merchants, we come and go. I get a lot of stuff to.
Yeah, I mean, I move around a lot
of,
also too. I'm sure. I mean, maybe even if you had tried, you probably couldn't get in touch with me. I've been very busy.
No, and it's true. Like I wasn't 100% sure how to contact you or where you'd be at the time, if it would even make sense. So I'm glad you're on the same page.
I mean, my contact information is on the contract, but that's fine. You ask for it every single time.
You're right. You are right. I could have looked at that. That's my fault. They usually hang out with the the ledger books for the entirety of the Blue Merchant crew. I don't always have all contracts on me at all times, so it's maybe a misunderstanding. Can we put it behind us?
We'll see. Let's get through this first, and then we can just kind of see how things go. We can take it slow.
Okay.
So here's the deal. This is a little bit outside the norm. I know that usually like it's items or other stuff that we ask for. But what we're really looking for is for, a couple of you, it could be whoever wants to come hang out. Like some people have heard about the Blue Merchant group and how good y'all are at performing. And so this time the loan is kind of more of y'all's talents, your percussive talents. And see if y'all might come do a little performance at the funeral for King Rat King.
Okay. Well, yeah,
so now I roll. I'm not going to give my heart to him because I don't feel like that went in a way that has made me.
Do you want to give him that sword?
I'm not giving him that sword. No, I'll take the +2. It's fine.
Okay.
It was King the Rat King.
I'm so nervous.
The whole game depends on this one roll.
So I rolled a 3.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
However, I'm going to execute one of the base functions of Patchwork World that I usually don't have to, but I like. Once per session, mark a benefit, treat a roll as a result of a result of a roll as a 10, which tag caused it. And I think I look at, like, I've been shuffling around, like not making eye contact. Then I look up at Craig. And they look deep into my eyes, my wide eyes. And they just fall into them. And they can't help but say yes.
Yeah, no, I'll help. I'll even be there for it. It's been a while since I've picked up the sticks, but definitely. And hey, while we're on the topic, since I'm already chatting, because I do feel bad about the way that things happened. Do you want to like go get, just, it doesn't have to be anything serious, just like brunch or something?
I mean, we can talk about it after the show. You come find me.
Okay, that's fair. We'll take it as it happens. And he gives you kind of a half bow kind of thing. He's like, I'll be back when the funeral, before the funeral begins. I'll go get the rest of the crew together. We'll grab our instruments and.
I mean, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah. No, it's good to see you again.
I'm breezy.
Yeah, no, you definitely are.
Oof. What does that mean?
Anyway,
I don't remember what
Just
show
hitting
it's
a little
from,
too close
but it
to
is
home.
something that somebody in a show says to somebody at the end of a conversation, but then obsesses about saying the rest of the time.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
He
It is 100% is 100% a Friends reference.
Walks deeper
Gorgeous.
sideways, and vanishes from frame.
Can I summon a houseboat now?
Did you take the proper measurements for this?
When I focus my transcendent knowledge of buildings on a specific area, roll the questions. Do I have time to survey the area? I took some time, I think.
You did.
Can I successfully name 5 architectural features or flourishes in as many seconds? So I will need you to start counting down 5 seconds at some point. You just tell me when.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Lintel, mantle, column, door, subflooring. You gave me that one. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mads.
Was that the 5th one?
Yeah.
It was.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll give you the plus.
I get +2. That's a 4. That's an 8. +2 is 10. I summon
Okay.
an architectural feature of my choice into the immediate area.
An entire houseboat.
Just a small houseboat, kind of a house shack.
Yeah. From a parallel space where
That's
the
a
rats
shack boat?
lived better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So next to and adjacent to this small ramshackle boat, a small, slightly less ramshackle house shack or boat.
Shack boat.
Shack boat. Thank you. Shack boat.
Which is when Shaquille O'Neal owns.
That's it.
God
It's on a
damn
boat.
it! I was so
It's
close.
shaped like
I was
Shaquille
gonna
O'Neal
make
said.
the joke. Yep.
Can we pause for a
Oink.
second? Real talk. Did finally get a Shaqaroni pizza.
Did you
and,
really?
And it comes with Shaq's face on the outside of the box. Shaq is the new Papa John. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. It's not an expensive pizza. It's just a pepperoni pizza with Shaq's face on the outside. Just go ahead and get whatever other type of pizza you want from Papa John's.
But did the face make you feel better about the pizza?
This.
No, because really the pizza did not match the pictures in a way that, like, more so, like, the picture makes it looks more like it's like a crustless, very wide, like just open pepperoni unending to the edge pizza, and it's just a bit slightly bigger pepperoni pizza.
Huh. Okay. Well, for everybody interested in shakaroni pizzas, which I guess it kind of was, I still need to go to Dubai and get a Garfield
Get a
pizza.
shakaroni
But
pizza there?
no, I got to get a Garfield pizza. They have a
They
Garfield
have them
delivery
in,
service.
They have them
There's
in Canada.
Canada
They have them
now.
in Canada.
They have them in Canada now?
One.
Well, and still, I'm going to go take a Canadian trip just so I can get a Garfield pizza. Anyway, so this tiny shack boat appears with enough size in it to lay your father's corpse against it, but not too big that you can't sail it into the toxic fungal mist to dissolve his corpse later.
Yeah. As we do, apparently.
As you do, you know. So you move the body over. There's some people concerned. You get a couple of rats being like, "Ah, what? No, we don't move the corpse. We've already prepped it."
Look, it's my dad's corpse, and I think I have legal right over it, so it's sort of my corpse if you think about it. So I'm just gonna move it over here.
Does anybody really have legal right over corpses? I feel like.
Yes, extremely specifically. The answer to that question is yes.
All right, I'll take your word for it. You're royalty. They step aside and let you move your father's corpse, leaving an empty ramshackle boat with the trowel structurally holding this boat up.
Has Herman stepped back into frame yet?
Yeah, but I'm down talking to Rusty, and we're just kind of like decompressing how the whole thing went.
Okay. Fair enough.
He's like rubbing your shoulders. Hey,
I said I'm breezy at the end. What does that even mean?
you float around, you get blown around, you kind of ride the winds of fate. I mean,
I know we're gonna talk afterwards. I'll catch you up later.
Great, I'll be sleeping again.
All right.
You got that green juice yet?
Yeah, here you go.
Hey, where'd you get this green juice? Is
there's
this just?
There's a lot of green juice around here.
Is this just sewage water?
No, it was on the table, like over there.
All right, but if I vomit, it's vomit in your suit.
I understand that. I understand the symbiotic nature of vomit in this suit.
All right.
Oh God, I can't figure out why in that one moment your fucking raccoon sounded exactly like I can't remember his name now, like Remy from Ratatouille.
We've got a real Remy from Ratatouille relationship going here.
The rat of all our dreams.
Rusty gets on your head and starts piloting you via your hair.
Via pulling hair.
Oh, it's the classic Ratatouille.
Yeah, like Herman has never committed a crime, but Herman's body has committed numerous crimes while he's slept.
Aaron,
as Rusty has taken over and
Aaron,
piloted him like a giant bot.
I implore you that as this moves into canon for the rest of the Patchwork World stuff, that you guys continue with Herman. He eventually needs a move just called the Ratatouille.
It will happen.
Rata 3.
So good. Anyway, so houseboat's done. Trowel is secured. Your band is secured. Is there anything you want to do in the interim that may benefit the situation?
I need to talk to Herman about making sure the right music is played at this funeral.
Okay. Well, please.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, my dad was just a real big fan of the Bee Gees. Can we get some like Staying Alive?
Yeah. Hey, I've got a question for you, real quick. While I think about that, have you ever like been talking to somebody that you have like feelings for, and just at the end said, "I'm breezy"? And if
No,
so,
I don't
what
really
do you think that means?
Feelings aren't really my domain. You know, I studied frog religious studies. That's what my doctor said.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
But okay, so from a religious standpoint, what do you think it would mean if you were like communing with a frog deity, and then as you finished up your prayers, rather than saying like frogman, you said, "I'm breezy"? Well, I mean, what would that do?
I think you'd probably be smote.
Okay, I won't do that then.
Yeah, I would avoid it.
Actually, the word is smitten, which maybe
That's
Herman
not bad.
is. Yeah.
Huh. Are you smitten?
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so Craig said that they'll be here. They'll do some music. I mean, if we have a playlist, we can just give it to them.
Sick. Yeah.
Hey, I took some green juice off that table over there. Do you know what it is?
Oh, it's straight sewage.
Oh, cool.
It's a frog delicacy. We don't really drink it up here.
You didn't even make me have to roll for it. There is now vom in your suit.
This tastes like sewage for straight people.
Vomit on his sweater.
Mom
spaghetti.
I was misled.
I'm bi.
Tony.
Sorry, that's what I needed the violent
Herman, you're gonna
for.
take 2 stress from that.
There's some of that soda down there near my foot.
Is it Sprite? My voice has gotten a lot lower. I'm more Rat King by the second.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I don't know. There's like 3 bottles down there. They're all different.
Are you using them for stilts, or like how do you fit them down there?
No, it's just the suit's a little oversized, so most of my inventory is just inside somewhere, and like I have to pull my arms out and like go find it.
Yeah, Rusty, the rules generally, if it's green, let it lean. Just keep it up against a wall. Don't touch it.
I'm breezy.
Oh, God, he's going to fucking die.
Oh, time passes.
Yeah, now we can move on.
Yeah, time passes.
Time passes, yeah.
As Rusty is drinking what turned out to be ginger ale, but not bad for the stomach, so we'll take it. And the Blue Man crew, it is a 4-piece outfit at the moment, shows up to play some music as they bring their instrumentation out from sideways and set up aside the funeral. That
non-Euclidean harpsichord, I don't even know how they fit it in here.
Yeah, well, it's dimensionally warped, so. Wow, my brain just completely died as soon as I tried to actually process the visual of a non-Euclidean harp. Thank you for that.
It's weird they brought a harpsichord because they're a percussion band, but...
Right.
They're trying new stuff. It's their new
I'm glad they got to try new material at a funeral. It's a good time for it.
You said Bee Gees. They needed to branch out a little.
Yeah, that's fair.
You ever played funk on a harpsichord?
Okay, so I just FYI, a harpsichord is not a heart. It's like a piano type
right,
thing.
That's
It is actually a percussive instrument.
Technically.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same. Like, I knew that it was a piano, but I think I am with Keegan that it's like it's kind of a percussive instrument. Like it functions. It functions percussively.
By hammers.
Yeah, it functions percussively.
You know, one of these blue men are gonna jump up on top, flip the top open, and instead of using the keys,
pour
gonna
paint
use little
into
hammers.
It. Yeah,
they're gonna do little hammers all over the strings.
Well, we'll accept that.
Yep, it's now very much a
my
percussive
father would have
instrument.
loved this.
As they begin playing the start of this funeral, and the sluice gate is once again opened up, one tiny rat holding on to the rope anchor of this boat. You watch the Frog King and about 14 frogs show up, fashionably late to the situation. The mummies have arrived about 20 minutes ago, and they are sitting in 2 of the tunnels because there's not quite enough space in the area to fit, so they're just like lined up single file like Roman army folks, like in both of the exit tunnels.
Are they in like a mix of funeral garb, normal mummy garb, and Blue Man group?
Yep,
merchandise.
Blue merch group. Yeah, that was bad. Yes, it's a mix of a hodgepodge of things, and the Frog King is wearing his favorite tie, which concerningly looks like it's made from the wrappings of one of the more elegant mummies.
Okay, yeah, that checks out.
But it fits. And he
Unless
sits
he has
and
an
watches.
Anxiety attack.
Just pops off, or it kills him because it chokes him. But we'll see. One of the little rats, smaller rat person at least, climbs up onto the pulpit and he goes, "Would anybody like to say a few words?"
Oh, yeah, I've been waiting for this moment.
"Please, take the pulpit and send your father off in the best way that we are able."
I can't.
The music dies down.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to say a few words here at my father's funeral. Dad, you were a bastard. We all fucking hated you. We're happy to send you into the fungus. Let the music play.
The music pipes up a little bit, and the little rat goes, "No, tip back down." And he walks back up to the pulpit, and he goes, "Thank you for your kind words. Now, it's very, very, very accurate and poignant to our great rat king. Would anybody else like to say anything before we pipe the music back up, as Dr. the Rat Prince is not king yet and does not have jurisdiction over deciding when or not we send off the father?
Just a little, right here.
Herman steps
yeah,
up and
if
says,
you don't want to,
hey,
if you don't want to get up to the pulpit, you can.
Hey, we're +1 EXP, a little brand specialized in multi-class 8.
What I'd really like you to do is go check out ttrpg.link. So all of a sudden, this big, deep, booming voice pops out of Herman, and he recites a long interdimensional poetry about frogs and rats and swindling each other, and it's beautiful. But this is actually my attempt to make the Frog King cry. Because it was one of the requests of the thing. I also do.
Oh, right.
I also do from sticking my head through a portal and having some things go awry a long time ago. Have a specialty in interdimensional sophistic poetry, I believe. It just gives me like a +1 bonus on this roll. I don't know
that is spectacular. Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to do is stare. Wait, am I trying to wound?
You're
is
trying
really
to stare into
hard,
eyes not your own, right?
It
I'm
could
staring
be
into eyes, not my
wounds.
own,
It could be staring into eyes.
That's true. Either of those make sense to me.
Emotionally wound them. That might be the right call.
So wound says, when you strike out with the intent to cause harm, roll with the questions, blah, blah, blah. By default, you deal 1 stress if you're armed with a weapon or with special knowledge, such as strange poetry.
Yeah. So I guess I'll. Am I defending myself? Not at all. Have I witnessed them acting unjustly? Absolutely.
Okay.
And so.
It's a +2 then because of your new knowledge of the poetry.
No, that's the amount of stress I'll deal.
Oh, okay.
And so that is going to be a 10.
Very
Hell
nice.
On a save with Strange Charm and choose 2 from below. I'm going to choose to affect 1 or 2 extra targets. I'm going to make numerous people cry. Never mind. I'm going to create collateral damage. I'm just going to make a lot of people over there cry. And I could mark an extra stress. I guess I want to remove advantage. I want them to be distracted for whatever's about to happen. And so I think I'm removing their awareness of what's happening around them because they're crying so hard.
Okay. As collateral damage, Dr. the Rat Prince, this speaks to you. As it is a conflict between both.
Shit.
It is a conflict between both frogs and rats that this abyssal poetry is reaching out with.
They to bamboozle are inclined, Saint Merlith who bamboozled are, in words, though rather unrefined, as yet in energy we ill can spare.
God, it's just so beautiful.
And the Frog King looks at you and he goes, I know. We've spent too long feuding, and that poem succinctly expresses my regrets and our previous quarrels in such a way that I can't help but feel sorry for the way that things turned out.
Yeah, me too. For the way things turned out.
Who has the trowel?
He's crying. Borba does.
Borba, if you kill this frog with this trowel right now, I will PayPal you $10.
Okay, not to metagame, but I was legitimately just conjuring up in my mind when I'm gonna make the strike.
And now feels like a great time. He is disarmed.
Is there any more of a speech happening? It sounds like we were at the
if you want me
apex
to
of
lightly and deeply whisper the rest of this very long poem in the background while you narrate what you're doing, I am 100% down for that.
But the Frog King is
a
like
well-fed rat rotund and
emotionally
not no
compromised
eater.
now,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
He's emotionally
Okay.
compromised.
14
Has he
round, the
let out a
frog pod
tear? That
went.
was the question.
A frog approached with friendly greeting, invited
Say
him
Say that
to see
again.
it at
Has he
home,
let out a tear?
He
had to
has.
at least cry. Okay,
He has.
cool.
and
He is
pledged
Oh
crying.
yeah.
to work
Okay.
his
So
equal.
in
Yeah,
like
kill this man.
Nothing loath to
one
find.
quick motion, it would be like one
Words
hand
that
is the quick
persuasive there was something need.
the blade out of
She
my
spoke, however, of
sleeve
a grateful bath.
as like a
Sports and
pre-cut,
curious wonders on their
and
path.
then from the other hand the
Rarities
trowel.
are
So in
flowers that
one
rush and
rotative
bleed.
motion, it'd be like a
One day
pre-cut
you
and then
will
a
count the
stab.
glee.
Okay. So you are
As
rolling to
assembled
move.
progeny, the
Wound
various
is your
species of
move.
these places, the customs of
Yes.
these
Would that be
various races.
succinct, Aaron?
Laws
It
that sway
might
the
be with
realms
magnificent
of
weapon.
She
Yeah.
did not mean the hydrostatic. One thing alone. The
Someone
rat
mute
perplexed.
Tony. Someone mute
He's
Tony.
No. He's not going to
dedicated
get
to
muted.
that.
He's dedicated. I'm going to let it run.
Dedicated. Yep.
So the
Uh,
questions for wounds are you defending yourself?
So no.
Thing alone, the rat perplexed.
No.
And
But moderate
have
as
you
a
witnessed
sword,
them
the claws,
acting
its matter
unjustly?
nicely fixed by kindly
But if I'm
giving.
using magnificent weapon, does that overrule?
Wow.
So there's
The
no
rush she
roll
was
with
timed to
magnificent
hit.
weapon. It just like
Offers
adds
started
to
side
some
by
of your
side,
shit.
arrived
So you will
upon
do
the
extra
good spring.
damage.
There was little
Which
time
I'll allow,
between.
for sure.
Frog leaped
So you'll still
and
roll
fought
for
her
wound.
boundest to land beneath the water.
Let's roll
And
just
it
to
was
hit a
beautiful.
2d6 plus 1 on the
She
wound then, because
had
you have witnessed
the
atrocities.
warm,
We are familiar with that from the
whatever sleek
mummy
and
people.
dainty form,
Okay.
did her
That's a
appetite
total
blind
of
my
16.
shoulder
No. Bad math.
The gods
11.
she invokes, his
Okay.
faithless
11 makes more
hostess rudely
sense.
mocks. He shrivels up,
How did you add those together to
The
make
kite
16, please?
hovers in the air, inspecting everything with now spies. The rat
I've got
fell
all
to
my
drown.
dice in the same spot, and it's a
Rat
bad time.
wound.
Fair enough.
There's
So,
wretched thing.
As
The
It's-
frog too
it's
heavy
6 and
by
4
the string
plus
to
the one you
toy at
gave
such a
me, right?
double haul.
Mhm.
Yep.
11.
Was to
Okay,
freak I
so
can't smell it,
what ends
prove
up
them all
happening
he could wish.
is as Herman
Double
continues to
meal.
recite this beautiful abyssal poetry, and the Frog King is weeping, and the Doctor the Rat Prince is also kind of crying. Borba, you are still familiar with the mission and are fully present with that trowel, and you swoop up next to him, take one pervasive strike across the across that croak pouch that he's got,
Broke pouch.
and then
Rogue Pouch is my next character.
That's canon now.
it's my next album. Are you talking? So you take a swipe across it, and the cry plus the wound makes him start to panic, and he swells. And you watch the tie pop, and this mummy garb like flies off, and as he swells up, the little bit of a tear is punctured by this trowel, and the Frog King just explodes because of the pressure building inside from that anxiety attack, and everything is covered in viscera. And at the moment that everybody's covered in viscera, the little rat holding the rope to your dad's boat gets hit in the face with like one of the Frog King's eyes and panics, and it's like, what the hell, and drops the rope, and the boat starts moving down the way.
Should we set it on fire?
And afterward echoes, the best contrived deceit can hurt its own contriver, and perfidly doth cheat its author's purpose of every striver.
And I will say, in character, I have returned that which I have promised.
Ooh. So now, the boat travels down a good long ways. They are a good ways from the fungal mists, deep into deep into the area. And as this boat leaves, never to be seen again, the Blue Man Group crew are cleaning off their instruments of the viscera. Some of the frogs are now screaming and confused, and also several of them have inflated and are kind of bobbing around on the floor. And I don't know what has become of these frogs, that like their croak pouch is so big that they just become bowling balls as soon as they panic, but like that is what's happened now. But Borba, you are successful. The Doctor the Rat Prince What are you doing in this moment of chaos?
I'm probably still crying right now, but it feels like we have hit all of the things we were supposed to hit. So I am now King Doctor the Rat Prince.
Not until you receive your crown.
There's so many steps.
There's so many steps. So, time begins to slow and wear itself to a crawl. The four of you remain unaffected by this as the rest of the world halts around you as chaos incarnate.
Keegan EXE appears floating in front of us.
Yeah, that's on brand.
Yep. a scraggly haired individual with a polka dot shirt arrives into the space and looks at Dr. the Rat Prince and the other four of you and says, "Sick. You did it."
Good job, everyone.
Hell yeah. I was mostly just curious to see what would happen, the whole time thing, but you weren't around for the first time he was strangled, and somebody does have to take the place of the Rat King, so I guess that's you now, Dr. the Rat Prince.
I didn't actually want to be king. I was gonna just like ascend to the throne and be like, "Oh, the monarchy is over, ha ha!" And I was gonna just like go back to school.
No, that's chill, but somebody has to do it officially, so like, just do what you want.
Yeah, that seems fair.
But yeah, apologize for all the weirdness. I had to make sure that the story made sense moving forward, so I altered the narrative a little bit, and I'm out, and chaos incarnate vanishes, and time resumes itself as four small regular rats with a pillow atop the four of them rides in this little crown of rusted iron, and two little rat people lift it up and say, "Please bow. We have to put the crown on."
Oh yeah, of course.
And they
put my head down.
Set the crown atop your head, and they go, "Welcome to your new throne room. We are now all subservient to you and your whims, and hopefully you don't do terrible things and make us all die by waging wars that are generally unnecessary, as we all had plenty of space within the sewers. But that's just my opinion. You're the king now."
Well, you see, the thing is, I'd like to announce I am no longer the king.
I remove my crown.
Gasps from all of the rats.
Too long we have let this crown rule us, and it's just...
And I snap the crown.
Little pieces of plastic.
I'm gonna proceed to give the entire speech from the end of Mean Girls.
Okay.
As I fling bits of the crown out towards the rats.
We're all kings now.
Spectacular.
Yep.
It's a rousing speech, and all of the rats are excitable and up in arms about this. They're up in arms. That's a negative connotation of this. Excitable and feeling the independent energies of each other, being like, "We can do what the fuck we want now," and they all scatter back into the sewers as rats, and just be as rats be, no longer tied by a monarchical society. Left are a couple frogs relaxing themselves out of their anxiety and panic and kind of discussing what the fuck they're gonna do now that their king is gone. And
do the mummies kill them?
Nope, the mummies watching the Frog King explode just kind of sat and stared, and then a couple of them looked at each other and go, "Well, I mean, that is what we showed up for, I guess."
You got your end of the deal.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're going.
Would you like to be a rat king as well? I still have a piece of the crown.
No, I'm okay. Sorry, not sorry about your dad. Bye.
Yeah, it happens.
They march off in single file, like shambling lines. In the midst of all of this, Craig breaks through the crowd of weird, chaotic events and approaches Herman and goes, "I know you said you wanted to talk afterwards, and we have to. I mean, we got to go. So I just wanted to, second invitation to brunch.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll call you.
Be
Rusty.
breezy.
Rusty
Be
goes.
breezy.
Rusty goes. Oh. Listen, I don't have the best mouth to say it right now, all stuffed with bile. But fucking kiss him already.
And Herman, or not Herman, Craig's like, you know what? That's fair. If you wanna reach out, we can. And he starts to turn.
And I grab him by his lapels.
Woo!
Hey,
Swept into a kiss.
And I kiss him. And I say, but no, really, I'll actually call. And then I like push him sideways.
Oh, that's
Right off the
spectacular.
Damn.
He embraces you for a moment, wholeheartedly waiting for this moment, and then you
Herman
push him
has
off
game.
screen sideways. And that's game, folks.
Woo!
A spectacular ending.
if
So-
there ever was one.
Yeah, no. Very, very good times. That was a blast. And I will say this, just moving into any amount of conversation that we are having about the game, how it went, what all of that. I will say the same thing about Powered by the Apocalypse style games that I will say about Heart, because I loved Heart. I did not fucking understand it when I started playing. I think there was something about the way that it was written that made it really hard to parse for me outside of a play space, but as soon as I started playing it, all of a sudden I clicked into it and I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is easy, it makes sense. Same
Can I give you
thing
some
with-
insight into that?
Yeah.
At least my perspective of that was very much the same until I realized the mechanics were not explained pen and paper very well.
So for Heart, yes, I will agree. I think there was a level of like the way that the initial game was explained where we talked about during the season premiere for the Top Shelf that was a little bit difficult. For Powered by the Apocalypse stuff and Patchwork World specifically, I kind of felt the same going into it, but it wasn't a lack of writing. It was the complexity to the situation and the amount of like playbook information and individual moves and not quite knowing how to interact with the space that wasn't a matter of negative anything that could be improved upon writing wise, but something that I think Powered by the Apocalypse games or Patchwork World specifically, the table benefits from everybody knowing their part of the game. And then if everybody knows their part of the game, nobody has to know too much and you just cooperate as a table and then it becomes super easy. But like if I were to have to manage and understand every single person's moves and how their numbers tracked and things, it would become very difficult because it's not universal because everybody has their own things to do. So once I started playing and I kind of realized the cooperation present, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that you guys have played the game before, but I think if I were to ever run this for a table of people who have never played it before, it would be something very specifically like understand, like build your character sheet and take the time to like just know in the back of your head what your moves are and what these things are, and then reference those when you want to do a thing. I am here to facilitate the story and the consequences and, help reinforce those. But like if everybody has their piece of the mechanical pie, that's really what makes it work spectacularly, because it did here, and this was an absolute blast. But that's been my experience with it.
I think one of the big things about Patchwork World, I think rich PbtA games, of which Patchwork World is, and I said it in the chat, and if people think I was joking, Patchwork World is certainly one of my top 3 favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game. Like I would rather, if somebody was like, I want to play a PbtA game, I would be like, great, let's just play Patchwork World. If they were like, no, I want to play one about hunting monsters, I'd be like, great, let's play Patchwork World. If they were like, hey, I want to play one about like, apocalypse stuff, I'd be like, great, let's play Patchwork World. Like it just, like I think it's such a phenomenal mode of play because the question process that Aaron built out of Passiones is so phenomenally well done, and Aaron did a phenomenal job of reinterpreting that for Patchwork World specifically. I did like the thing about games that are at that perfect level of richness is you do end up looking at a lot of different places and trying to take in a lot of information at once until you realize how it all fits in. And I think as a GM, the best thing you can do is just get really comfortable with the core rules so that you know when it feels like somebody's trying to narratively trigger one. And if it sounds like they're doing something weird you don't understand, just saying the question, is there a move you're trying to trigger? And if they say yes, and you say, okay, what is it? They read it out loud. You say, great, here's how that's going to work. But otherwise, just listening to things that hook the core moves, like, are you trying to wound somebody? Are you trying to stare into eyes not your own? Are you like, it looks like you're doing this, it looks like you're doing that. That's the only way I really learned how to do it, was just, like you said, focusing on those core moves and letting players take care of, here are the other weird things I can do. When I'm playing digitally, especially, I take all of my moves and I cut the text up and I move them to the notes section on my character sheet so that I can quick reference everything rather than having to look around, which is just like, it's just playing it enough times, you kind of grab some of those.
Right, and like the versatility of the game is superb, and I absolutely adore it. I'm so happy to have a copy of it now because it is
in the mail.
Well, okay, yes, it is in the mail, but that's not what I was going to say. I guess the thing for me about it is like when you start playing a game built off of pre-existing characters from a pre-existing story arc, the game has to be flexible enough to make sense of other characters and a pre-existing story. And like, we converted one rule set, or we didn't convert the rule set, we took one rule set, we played it for a session, we scrapped it, we played a different rule set. I think that's a testament to the versatility and the ease of existence in Patchwork World and what it provides, because we were able to do so fluidly.
I think it's equally a testament to Down We Go, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I would say both of them, in their own regard, had enough. I don't want to call it open-endedness, but I don't really have a better term for it, I guess. There was enough to be left to the interpretation between both that, like, for example, I could take Borba as the guy who's D&D everything and is really new to anything other than D&D. I was able to take Borba and like look for 5 minutes at Patchwork Worlds coming from Down We Go and say, oh, okay, yeah, this would work.
Yeah, I did.
And it did.
I did jokingly say Patchwork World was my favorite OSR game at one point because you could 100% do an OSR style play in Patchwork World. Like, it is a phenomenal system, but it's like the open narrative space that both games create. Like,
I think
is the big factor.
Yeah, and that's the perfect vocabulary for it. Is I definitely like games that are open narratively. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I have a lot of, like, because I didn't do a deep dive into the book, and I think that was part of big books with more shit in them for games like the Top Shelf. Definitely stretch the idea of like, how do we play as a group of 4 people who have never played it before? You know, can we sit down and just crack out the rules in 30 minutes and be like, let's have a good time with it? And we did. Like, that was the amount of experience that I had with the game. That's the amount of experience that Dat Magic had with the game, and it worked, and it was smooth, and everybody had a part of things, and like, it would be a touch more difficult with players who hadn't played before, but I do think it is possible. And with a game that is as rich and has as much information in it as Patchwork World, making a game that like you can, you know, read this section and then you can skip down to here and grab this bit, and it all fits and it all still works. You don't have to read every page of minutia in order to start a game, is really nice.
Yeah, I'd say so. That is one of the main things that I've been getting out of this session and the one we did a couple weeks ago has been, you know, oversimplifying you might say rules light is better, but I think more elegantly the aspect of just open to interpretation has been like the bread and butter of this whole thing for the last 2 weeks. So there's been a lot of role play opportunity, and I feel like after the feeling it out that we had from our last session fed into what we did today, and really the mechanics behind, you know, what game we're using, what system we're using, it didn't really have much impact at all. It did have some guidance, but at the end of the day, we just had a good goddamn time. Right?
Yeah. Tony, what was that tweet that you sent out a little while ago that didn't get as much traction as you'd like?
I mean, it's not the tweet getting enough traction. I wish the idea would get more traction.
Yeah. But that idea is important here.
Play is just a thing you can do. It actually doesn't even require a game. You can just do it. We play with sports, we play games, but we also play with toys. We use our imaginations. Like, we can just go out in the world and decide to experience, like, granted, mental health here, things are all very real. I'm not dismissing any of that. But we can go out and decide to experience enjoyment or play as an active state of being in, if we decide to engage in a mode of play. And that's just an active choice. And it's the bare minimum of what we should all be deciding to do when we sit down to have a game session is decide that you came to play. And if you didn't come to play, ask yourself, why am I doing this? Like, you know, and yeah, just enjoy playing.
Yeah. And I mean, a big reason that the top shelf even exists is that concept, I guess, not put so succinctly, is the idea that, like, I mean, the original idea was like D&D is not the only game out there. D&D is riddled with minutia and restriction because of what it wants you to play, whereas the vast majority that I've found of independent tabletop games will say, yeah, here's the themes we're playing with, here's kind of the world and what you're doing in it and stuff, and then here's this structure of, you know, certain things you can do, here's how the dice work, but it's so much more interpretive once you get into it that at the end of the day, and I'm going to take a hard stance and be like, both of them count between D&D and indie stuff, but like indie games specifically ask that question of like, why don't you sit down and play? It's not, why don't we sit down and play D&D or play this story? It's just take these rules, use them as a guide, go play.
And I would say, not to lash out at D&D, but I would say any system that encourages something, a specific pathway to maximize things, starts to drift away from play and into rote mechanic operation. And the more and more we engage in systems that, or processes that have a specific way that is considerately the best because they have a certain highest end or mode of navigating play, then we are playing less and less and navigating that system more and more. Patchwork World uniquely, like I would even say a lot of PbtA games have very specific core loops. Patchwork World is unique and beautiful in the sense that it doesn't use tropes. It uses just a set of custom picked moves, and that allows the play state to be entered into more openly and decide this is the thing my character enjoys doing, or some weird things they can do. And that lets you explore things in a completely different way because there is no, you have to be good at stealing because you're the thief. Like none of us were a thing in this party. Like none of us are a certain trope. Like everybody has a concept, but like to be the boy.
It was actually Gandalf.
No, you played Kathy Bates.
Yeah. And so, but like to be the boy from over there doesn't essentially mean anything in the role of a party. Like it has no precise function.
Yeah, you're not definitively like a healer. Like you are not the DPS or the tank or whatever.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, also true.
However, you could take Patchwork World and be like, you're going to be the tank, you're going to be the healer, you're going to be the this, you're going to be that. And you could, if you absolutely wanted to play that way, that's the way mode of play you want to enter, you can, but you don't have to at all. And it is one of the things that I think is just such a genius arrangement in the course of the game.
Yeah, the questions were very fun for me, and like, here's the move. Now ask yourself the questions about the situation because I think it allows you. I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like the player requiring that level of honesty over what they've already accomplished to say no to the extra +1 because like the question hasn't been filled out, or conversely to say like I'm going to, because I know this move is something that I want to accomplish here, I'm going to take the extra time to put in the extra effort to do these things to get those pluses. And it allows a little bit more work on the player's part, a little bit more engagement, but also more role play opportunities. And I think for TPK roleplay specifically, any of our campaigns have tons of role play involved in. Like we're a group that thrives off of character conversations and interactions and how they function. The whole channel is, regardless of what show you're on.
Even within the D&D campaigns.
Oh, agreed. Yeah, and I guess that's
Yes.
that's exactly what I was getting to, because it's like D&D very definitively lacks a mechanic for you to ponder as a character, and just asks you to roll for a success or a failure, whereas this has this beautiful little way to interact with the world with those questions granting you boons, being like, I'm going to go out of my way to roleplay these things, so then my dice can benefit from it.
Yeah, I just want to... Oh, go ahead.
No, you first.
I just wanted to very quickly shout out, like, the questions granting bonuses is a mechanic developed by Brandon Leon Gambetta for Pasión de las Pasiones, which is a game meant to be a telenovela or a soap opera. And like, with his very kind permission, I was like, this is the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. Can I do my own thing on it? I think he's one of the greatest game designers currently working. Like, definitely go follow him. And then a lot of the kind of, you don't need to feel familiar with the mechanics thing. Vincent Baker, who wrote/co-wrote Apocalypse World, which kicked off this whole design philosophy, he uses the phrase collapses gracefully inward. And so Apocalypse World, you have a playbook that might be like, you have mental powers, you drive a car, you're whatever. But if you can't remember that, you have these basic moves that everyone has. But if you can't remember that, you remember that you roll 2 dice, and a 10 is great, a 7 to 9 is decent, and a 6 or less, something bad happens. And so that's something that D&D does not do, where it's like, oh, if you're a ranger, you do have to remember your spells and your other stuff. You can't kind of, if you forget that stuff, you end up kind of losing a lot of the flavor and power of what D&D is.
Aaron, is there anybody like ever taken the time to pull together maybe like a book, like in a digital format that you could download that would explain a lot about how to like read through Powered by the Apocalypse games?
No, not me. Wait, are you asking about this? Which is not about other games, but is about, we'll get to that later.
I just dropped a link to that in the chat also.
No, and so like a lot of what you're appraising is like, I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I think I wrote this game for my group of D&D players who we did a weekly drop-in game for 5 years, anywhere from like 8 to 14 players. Whoever showed up. And after 5 years, some certain things started dragging. And there are people in my play group that have ADHD or anxiety or just like general memory problems. And so a lot of this game was me asking them, like, what's fun for you? Why do you show up? I see you having trouble remembering how this rule works. I see you getting stressed out about this mechanic. Like, what about the game is fun, and how can we like pull that stuff out and keep it for you while jettisoning the rest? And like, the joke for me is, you know, D&D has the 3 pillars of combat, exploration, and social interaction. Is that the other one?
I mean,
negotiation, whatever it's
that's
called.
What D&D says.
Right. And so my joke is, that's the 3 pillars of D&D. The actual 3 pillars of role-playing are shenanigans, flirting, and building forts.
Yeah.
And so this game is about generating shenanigans, generating ways to flirt, and building forts together.
I have a really hard time engaging in flirt/romantic concepts in other games. Patchwork World is the only one. And like, I've even talked about like another great PbtA game that it is built on it, but I can't engage in anywhere near the same way, is Apocalypse Keys. Apocalypse Keys really encourages a lot of romantic entanglements, involvements.
A beautiful game.
Awareness. Yeah. It's a beautiful game, but if you were to pop it into a group of people who have never done that, or it's just not their mode, it forces you into a type of play. And I don't there's consent. It's very clear in the beginning of the game. It's very well written. Don't I mean, like, go back that because it's going to be on Kickstarter soon, I'm sure. It's a very well written game, but it essentially almost demands that you engage in that level of play to get some of the loops going properly within the game's economy of resources, and that's fine. But it's hard for me to put myself in that until I know that everybody at the table is okay with it. Patchwork World inserts it into the core moves in very subtle ways where it's always the choice, and I can really feel out as I go how comfortable everybody at the table is with that, rather than putting it at the core. And it's actually, I was going to mention it anyways, but since like it came up, like, I don't flirt in other games or engage in romance in other games, and I do very easily in Patchwork World.
You have a boyfriend now. It's beautiful.
So, which just came up because one of the questions was like about giving you their heart, and I was like, oh, I don't know, but like, we've got this background, and like, it was just like, it wasn't even like it was an essential part, or that I even triggered the move per se. It's that it suggested something that opened up role play in a very enjoyable way to pursue as I started triggering the blue merchant contract on a regular basis, you know? And so, like I said, it's a really interesting thing, but I love those 3 pillars, and I want a shirt that has those 3 pillars on them, like the 3 pillars of role playing. We need some Aaron MF King merch.
I'll design it. Tomorrow.
Super good. Right
Perfect.
after your fan fiction.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
No, and I'm going to say this because it's very easy to be like, yes, I am standing on the shoulders of giants with the things that you make, and as much as some of the inspirations and the items that you put into Patchwork Worlds, like, that may be true. Powered by the Apocalypse is not a new system. The questions that you pulled from the telenovela game is not new inherently. You put them together in a way that is still uniquely you and very skillfully done so. That, like, there's a lot of credit to be had with how much, because I've only played it once and I very much enjoyed it. The fact that Tony has played it as many times as he has, and just like has so many showering good things to say about it, like, you don't discredit the polish that you put into it.
No, thank you. I'm very proud, and I did work really hard on it, but also, like, I want to acknowledge.
Oh, for sure. And like, I appreciate the additional credits, because I did not realize that, like, specifically the telenovela thing, that came from somewhere else. And you'll have to shoot me a link to that later, because I do actually want to look. But
I dropped a link to Brandon's Twitter in the chat, but I'll look at Cassiana's right now.
Yeah, Brandon's a great follow on Twitter. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, it's a great time. I think, as far as drawbacks to certain things, I think there is a conversation about the richness of a game does require a little bit more buy-in to stuff. But once everybody is bought into that space, it is so easy to navigate, and that's really nice. And that's really been the only thing that I've noticed in kind of the whole running of the top shelf, is it's the difference between, like, there are certain games that you can just jump into and just play and run with out of, like, 10 minutes of play, and you can have a good time with them, but they're not quite as rich, and you kind of fill those spaces yourself. Or there's games that are like filled with that richness and color that Patchwork World has, that take a little bit more time and a little bit more buy-in, but if you're willing to, sit down and take an hour with everybody and actually dig through everything, like, it's just superb.
I had a crazy ear infection and was very sick for part of while I was writing this, and I was like, I might be dying. It was like during the height of COVID, and I was just like, I would be going to bed at night, and I would have these very intrusive thoughts of, like, I could die soon. This might be fatal. My whatever. And I was like, I have to finish this fucking game. And it's like, it is a very personal game, and it does absolutely require more buy-in than, like, we're gonna do Lord of the Rings. You saw Stranger Things, they played D&D, we're gonna do that. Like, this is, I think, like Tony said, you can play that stuff, but it requires more digging. But I was just like, I'm not gonna fucking die before I put this game out.
This is my magnum opus, and you all are gonna see it.
I don't know that it's not my magnum opus, but I was like, I have to do. This is like one of the most me things I've ever started, and I was like, I have to finish before I die.
Well,
And so
I mean, like, if you're a but honestly, if you're a GM out there who's like, I want to run Stone Top or Dungeon World, or I want to run Monster of the Week, screw that noise. Like, pick up Patchwork World, pick up that game also.
You're gonna embarrass Aaron.
Take all the moves, port them over, and give them questions, and run it in Patchwork World, because it's an easy thing to do, and you'll have a better time. Like, if you're like players sitting down, it does take a lot, but if a player sits down and they're like, oh, I like this book, like this thing out of this PbtA book over here that I already have a mental concept built around, it's easy to take that and then just draw it into Patchwork World.
alternately, if you're running D&D and someone wants to be like, I wish I could turn into 1 to 6 cats, just cut the move out, because the move is self-contained. It just requires that one roll that answers the questions.
Well, and as a guy who is very, very into mechanics and how they interact with the world around you, that is something I really, really appreciate. And I swear to you right now, I'm going to incorporate it in some way into the D&D games that I'm running. What's your motive? That's such a powerful question for literally anything you're doing right now. And it's not just, well, are you just looking in the room around you, or are you specifically trying to find traps? Like, that's a very generic, should I use investigation or should I use a perception type of question. What's your motive is so much more impactful and powerful than that. And I love that. I really, really, really love that.
Your voice got so close to the mic, and the boom there just made it more impactful.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. Like, it was just like, this is big.
No, it really is, though. It really is for me. And I've learned that from this session in combination with the last one. But that's why I love the Top Shelf so much. And I love being here with it. I'm learning so much stuff from other systems and their mechanics, being the mechanic guy, and how they can impact the games that I'm running or playing in. It's a lot. The Hero of 1,000 Faces has been one of the most impactful reads I've ever had in my life. And the call to action is like the step in my book. And you can apply what is the call to action to any individual microtransaction that's happening in a game. What are you intending to do here?
Right.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Also, a core difference between indie games and trad games. Trad games GM sections are designed to tell you more mechanics. An indie games GM section, if it has one, is going to be telling you how to GM.
Will you please define trad for me?
Traditional.
Okay.
It's a shortened version of traditional.
Okay.
So we would be talking Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, but we'd also be talking like GURPS, Cipher System, other games.
Fate.
People can at me about any of those, right? Like, those are all trad games, right? If it's printed in a A4 big book and it's 240 plus pages, and it's in the GM section is just more mechanics about how to run the game, that they just don't force the players to know, because you're supposed to encyclopedically keep it all in your brain. That's probably a trad game. If you get to the GM section and it's like, here's some techniques we want you to implement to make the session better for your players, you're not playing a trad game. Because trad games, indie games tend to either not need GM sections, right, or just describe techniques for story structure, narrative process.
Yeah.
If they introduce mechanics, the mechanics are, here's the mechanics that you use to embrace this mode of storytelling, not here's what like falling damage does to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and I'll wholeheartedly reinforce that, because and this is a little bit of a cross promo, but it's designed to be relevant. But Raven's Crest was the first game that I wrote. It's also the one that I'm by far the most proud of, and it's 2 pages in theory. It's a pamphlet, front and back. And it has information about how to build a character. It's got information about, like, here are these particular rules to keep in mind. It now has an alternate rules or an additional rules for, like, just ways to mix up particular play depending on the theme of horror that you're playing with, because it's designed to be kind of a all-encompassing old 80s movie genre horror kind of thing. But there are 2 extra panels that I put in later. I wrote the game in March-ish. The game later, like within this last month, I added 2 extra panels for that exact reason. Like, there is something that I learned about just being part of the top shelf that those panels turned into. I've always wanted a GM section for this game. I wanted to put notes in there for the GM, and instead of it turning into a GM section, what it was like things to keep horror. Like, here's how to make the story gripping because you're making horror. If you need help with horror, here's this. But it very specifically lacks like a monster manual or an items list or any kind of big mechanical listing of stuff, because they're unnecessary to the kind of game that it wants to tell, because the story is just there to be told. And indie games in general, and I mean that is a culmination of what I've learned about indie games, but indie games in general want to tell a story, not to bind you by numbers and figures and tables and stuff.
If you want to know more about horror RPGs, I just dropped a link in the chat to Raven's Crest, a genre horror TTRPG.
Also, shout out to Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, the only game that has tied together these 2 GM advice sections that we've described.
Yeah. The only non-trad game, right?
Why don't you indie designers like Dungeons and Dragons more? 4th edition is great. Stop it.
I've had 4th edition blocked for an unbelievable amount of time on Twitter, but that's neither here nor there. Just shut up about it.
Shout out and shut up about 4th edition.
Yeah.
I'm going to drop a link back to the game eBay where you can buy 4th edition books if you want to.
Circling back to the game we're playing, I think it cannot be overstated that even if you are not planning to actually run Patchwork World, I really do think everybody who's run a game, everybody who's ever writing a game, really could learn so much just from reading this fucking game.
I wholeheartedly agree.
I think
will
Aaron
stand behind that.
And Aaron's muted, so they can't stop me. I think Aaron is easily the best like moves writer in the game right now, in the RPG space is there. I don't think anybody does it as well as Aaron. It is worth a read, if not just to steal bits of it here and there for whatever purpose.
And that's my bottom level hope, is like, even if you never run this as written, you pull a piece out.
Yeah, go buy it. Spend money on it.
Done already.
Or
And,
just
what's your motivation is going to be that's going to be a staple question in my D&D stuff.
And Patchwork
What's
World is
your
released
motivation?
under the King license, which is I'm a king, not a cop. Do whatever you want.
I never imagined that I would be important enough, and I still don't think I am, to like do an SRD or anything. I also just have a weird thing about, since, as I said, I've like taken so much from so many people, to give someone else permission to do something with this work, like,
Tony, we just had this talk.
Right.
We just had this talk last night.
Literally,
I'm going to say it again. SRDs are not a way for people to block other people. They're a way for you to take people who have a hard time saying, can I do something, to already give them explicit permission that they have the freedom to act, because a lot of people don't know that they did. And by naming that freedom, we don't empower them, but we equip them to do the thing that they're already capable of doing.
That's why I just have a post on the game page that says, hack this if you want.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. That's an SRD.
Yeah.
There you go.
It just needs a cool image and a catchy name now.
I got you.
This is all about
Patched
learning independent tabletops and all of those kind of things. I have been too ashamed to ask anybody what the fuck SRD stands for.
System reference document. Yeah, it's pulled. it's a bad term that's pulled from. It's a fine term in the industry. It's from, which is coding. It's a bad term in tabletop game design. It implies something very different about the way tabletop game design works than it does about how code works. There's been a movement, and SRD is a not common enough term for this movement to actually have some legs, that we should just start calling them creators kits, because they name like, we're giving you tools in order to be able to hack this more effectively, and explicit permission to do so. So we're equipping you, not hey, here's the legalese for what you have to put in our books, because no one owns the concept of roll a d20 and add something to it, and no one can.
I'm sorry, was that another D&D at?
No, it's just it's a D20. Nobody owns roll 2d6 and compare them to a number.
No, it's true. And I guess more my comment there is it feels like every third party or secondary
that's a shot
D&D
at the
book,
OGL,
like
Right, SRD came out of the 3.5 D&D OGL stuff.
And when people call an SRD an OGL, it also gives D&D too much power. So I'm not a fan of that term either.
That's open gaming license for.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
What I'm here for.
And so I'm a big fan of like here's a thing you put on, here's a license, like here's what you call it when you create something, because that helps create community also. Like right now for Down We Go, I did put an eBay link in there. So
you really did.
For Down We Go, we just released the license for that. You can go to ttrpg.link/twg in order to get access to that license. It's like we took it, we made a logo for it with some of the game art, and we created a license. And a big part of it is we don't want people making certain games. Only sound. Keegan got blocked.
I'm not subbed. Wow, that's incredible.
Get wrecked, noob.
So we and basically the other thing is like you can't make bigoted or bigoted, fascist, or dehumanizing content using our game. Like you are blocked from doing that. Now, however, could somebody take all the mechanics and just call it something else and never acknowledge our game? Yeah, great.
It's
fine.
up, we win.
Please do that if you're going to make horrible content. Don't connect it to my game because you're not allowed to. Like that we can create a little bit of protection with that also, which I think is important to say. This is what the game is for. This is what it's not for. You can go as far as you want in this area, but if you're an asshole, like pass, And one of the lines we'll put in fairly regularly into that is if you have to ask, you're absolutely barred from doing this. Like don't even email us to say, is this kind of marginally dehumanizing thing okay? No. So like licenses and other stuff do a lot of good in saying this is what this is for, this is how we want you to use this, and encouraging small creators who might not think they can to do something. Because it's also weird. Like, Aaron, you have this beautiful game with great art that is well laid out, that is just a beautiful piece of design, and somebody who's just stepping into design sees that as a physical object, finds it, whatever, is like, oh, Aaron King is the biggest deal in the world. They're the Aaron MFing King of games, and I can't touch the great stuff that they've made because they don't have any idea who you are as a human being and how accessible you are and how much you want them to do that. And so these types of systems actually help clarify that type of things. And again, like I said, I think they're incredibly helpful.
It's actually laid out like a textbook, which Keegan hates, right?
Yes, in fact. I love you.
Right.
Oh, goodness. No, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit and chit chat with everybody, and I love this crew. I now realize what I continued to dig through on my computer while you were all talking, that I could not remember what it was, and now I can actually get to it. Because my brain completely dissociated from what I was trying to find when I was listening to
Yay,
y'all chat.
ADHD!
Yup, it's delightful. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure. I love having all y'all on. It's been so good meeting so many new developers and writers, and just the idea collective of independent tabletops and all of the different writers kind of bringing their own thoughts to the, too many cooks in a kitchen is not necessarily a bad thing when it comes to the community as a whole here. Everybody making their own games and playing various games as much as you can breeds more thoughts and more variance in the kind of games that you can play. And Aaron, you built some cool shit, and I'm yawning. I'm sorry.
No, I'm tired too. Yeah.
But let's go ahead and do outros real quick, and we'll get through everybody, and then we will wrap a good bit early. We had some brisk play. A lot of shit happened in 2 hours.
Runs.
Yeah,
We're
that was
speed
good.
runners.
I appreciate it. But yeah, we'll
glitches.
start. You know what? Let's do this backwards this time. We're gonna go counterclockwise just for Keegan.
Hell
Keegan,
yeah.
you're up first.
Ooh, okay.
I get the last word. That's even better.
I would so much rather not go after you, Tony. Cool. I have been and will continue to be Keegan. You can find me online at KeeganEXE if you must find me for some reason. This has been fun.
That was short and sweet, and I loved it.
Yeah, it's great. Who's next?
Is that me?
You next.
I think that's me. Okay. I'm that Magic Juice. I am the guy who's new to anything not D&D and constantly getting eyes opened and loving it. So as a result, you'll see all my D&D stuff getting a whole bunch of new mechanics and quirks, if nothing else, incorporated. For TPK Roleplay, we have Queen's Gambit, which is a Tyranny of Dragons campaign every other Thursday, including this coming week. So that's going to be a good one. And then I also run another campaign on my own channel, which is just as you see it on the screen, every other Sunday, which is a whole bunch of homebrew. It's loosely based off of Princes of the Apocalypse. But as I said, as I get more involved with outside of D&D content, the subject matters and execution of mechanics in all of those campaigns get expanded. So it's a good time. You can find me there. That's it for me.
I'm Aaron King. You can find me at AaronMFKing on Twitter. I wrote this game, Patchwork World. Also, I have a bunch of homebrew D&D content if you really need it, including special classes that let you play a rogue slowly turning into a gelatinous cube, or a paladin who's protecting the memories of their lost culture inside of them, or a wizard that puts their spells into beans. I'm slowly divesting myself from Hasbro, but I wrote some good fucking content for D&D while I was deep into it. And if you just send me a message on Twitter, I will send you 400 pages, literally,
Aaron,
of D&D content that I wrote.
I immediately need you to send me the rogue turning into a gelatinous cube class.
I will. I absolutely
I can't
will.
get over how fucking
The best part is you just tell all your players you're playing as a party of rogues and don't tell them the rest of that at the start of the campaign.
Anyway, no, D&D is great, and I'm glad it exists. I personally am moving away from it, but like, fucking bring some people in and then get weird with it. Do the homebrew. I'm very excited for that. I am done now.
Beautiful.
Hi, my name's Tony Vicinda. I'm Chief Alchemist over at Plus One EXP. We're a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skin care alchemy in the Bargain College of Content Creation. Our hope and desire at Plus One EXP is much like it is here at TPK Roleplay, especially on the top shelf, and that's to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. We do that in a lot of different ways. You can check out all that stuff over on our channel, either Plus One EXP on YouTube, on Twitch, anywhere else you can find us on the socials. But right now, the number one thing you could do to help us out is to go to ttrpg.link/DWG, like Down We Go Live. That's DWG Live, and support, or at least check out, maybe just share if you don't have any extra ducats right now, our game Down We Go, which is a minimalist OSR game. You can see the actual play we did a couple weeks ago from this stream right there on the page also too. And that's where you can find us.
Hell yeah. Thank you. And as a finale here, I mean, I'm not much of a finale, but like, my name's Mads. I've been your host. You can find me at JK Madigan on Twitter. You can also check me out on Discord. I'm also always in the TPK Discord. You can message me or chat games or what have you there. TikTok, Instagram's a different one, but you can ask for that later if you want it. But we've got a couple different things going on. And then I also write games on Itch. I've got 3 out right now, but again, Raven's Crest is my favorite. If you were going to grab one, that one's just superb. Itch.io/JKMadigan. And coming up with the top shelf, following this on September 18th, we are playing Liminal Horror, which is going to be tons of fun. And we're actually having a guest DM play that one. Our very own Chrissy Kritz from TPK is manning the actual play of that game. She's superb, but a therapist who uses tabletop games and things, so she's got a lot of good psychological knowledge to bring into a horror space that I'm very, very excited for. And then following that, we're bringing 3 of these folks back on September 23rd, which is a Thursday in the morning, for a game with Chris McDowell. Before the Top Shelf existed, there was a single game of Electric Bastion Land in which Chris McDowell DM'd for me, and that set me on this whole myriad of ridiculousness that the Top Shelf has been, and now I get to play a game of his design for him and the whole crew, and I could not be more elated at the cyclical nature of that. So we're getting back to where this all started in about 3 weeks, and then we've got all kinds of good stuff coming up following that. Orbital Blues is coming up, which I'm super psyched for. We've got some Kenshin stuff coming up after that. We've got a Morkborg game coming up with the creators of Morkborg coming in for another early morning game because they are out in Sweden. But like the next couple weeks of stuff is going to be just delightful, and everything else that TPK puts out is always a hoot and a holler, so go check those out. And just as a side, I guess, note for it, for anybody who has not seen it, a little while ago we did another Powered by the Apocalypse thing for a Kickstarter that was coming out for Dungeon Bitches. It is absolutely an 18+ game if you want to go watch it, but it is superb. It is absolutely unbelievable. The cast and the DM and everything that went on with that game was amazing. If you want to see more Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, that one's a great one to go see on our YouTube at TPK Roleplay. But beyond that, we will talk to you in the next episode, and y'all take care. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching.